this year for you guys and what the future holds, and obviously the very thick rumors of Spence and Crawford having re-engaged in negotiations, man. Just clear all that up for me real quick.
Yeah, look, I think, coming out of the pandemic, I think everybody's really motivated to really step up and make the best catch we can. I think we did that in 2022. We did that going back to 2021, with a big year that had, Mayweather exhibition, had another one planned, and some really big events in that one as well. So I think we've been on a roll, coming out of the pandemic, and going with this first part of the year. The goal was to come out as busy as we possibly can. And we always try to make the big fights. And, sometimes they happen all at once. Sometimes, it happens, they're sort of spread out. Here, just by the timing, we're getting big fight after big fight. We tried to make Spence Crawford last fall, it didn't happen. And now hopefully we'll get another shot at the summer. There are talks ongoing. Look, there's still issues to overcome, but as long as everybody's engaged, which everyone is, and as long as everybody is willing to keep working at it, then I think there's a good shot at it happening.
Yeah, are you very optimistic that what are the chances of it happening? I know that it's been rumored that possibly Thurman's in the wings with some kind of deal already secured for Spence, but obviously Crawford is the fight that you guys really want to do. It seems like you said, they're talking again. What do you think is the percentage?
I think they're both fantastic fights. I mean, I know that there's a tiebreaker. One fight is obviously for the undisputed title, the other one isn't. But I don't think boxing fans lose in either one. So if the undisputed fight can happen, then I think Spence Thurman is a rivalry that's been in the works for quite some time. There's been some bad blood, some animosity there going back years. So either way, I think boxing fans win. Now I know what boxing fans want most of all. I'm not going to put a percentage on it. I don't want to really make predictions. There's a lot of rumors going on. 99% of them are wrong. The one basic fact is that we are still talking. There is not a date set. We wouldn't be setting a date until we got to the finish line. And at that point, so we're not going to set any artificial deadlines and say, look, here's the date of the fight. We need to finish up the deal. Well, that's putting the cart before the horse. Finish up the deal and set the date. So the reality, everybody wants to break news. Everybody wants to say that they're in the middle of something. The bottom line is, and the truth is, they are still talking, and people are still working hard to get it done. I'm optimistic. I like to think they will happen because both fighters want it to happen. So I think that's the big step.
That's cool. Thank you, Stephen. A great job so far this year, man. Looking forward to June and July and all that house for us. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Did y'all hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, did you all hear those words? Those were the words by Stephen Espinoza, the president of Showtime Sports and Programming. Of course, as you know, he just got elevated to a new position over there with CBS, who is the parent company of Showtime. Did you hear what he's just said? He is the man whose face is on your screen right now. In this thumbnail that you see on your screen, that's Mr. Stephen Espinoza. He said that there are rumors that has been flying around on social media all over the world about the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fights and even the date. And he said 99% of the rumors were not true. But the 1% that is true is that both parties, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, both of their sides and or representation or lack thereof, they are in negotiations, and the negotiations are quote unquote ongoing. And so this is what we have to deal with this evening. Live and living color. I welcome you all of you who found it not robbery, to come join me live here on the Roll the Tape show. I'm going to start calling this a podcast. Let's start it now. So on the Roll the Tape podcast. Yep. Roll the Tape podcast. I want to welcome you all tonight. I welcome you if this is your first time joining us on this segment of Roll the Tape. I appreciate your viewership. And you will not be disappointed this evening. And I can also assure that you will learn something about the business and the sport of boxing that you probably did not know prior to you joining tonight, if this is your first time. So I welcome you. To all of the Roll the Tape film crew members that's joining us live and even joining the replay of this live, I welcome you. To all of my trolls, detractors, and even my haters, I welcome you as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And for everyone who's in the chat right now, I want to say I welcome you, but also salute to you. In our last broadcast here on the Roll the Tape podcast, on our previous episode that was published on Tuesday evening, yes, it's almost like we all drunk a 5-hour energy drink. Because we were on the live broadcast for literally 5 hours. We will not be on another live broadcast on the Road to Tape podcast for 5 hours. It was unintentional on Tuesday evening, and I will make sure that I'm more intentional of regulating the podcast to respect everyone's time, including my own. And so I just thought that was amazing how we were on a podcast live for 5 hours. And I'm going to tell you why I thought it was amazing. Because you all hung in there with me. All of you who are joining this episode and segment tonight, who were here on Tuesday evening, I thank you because you all stuck it in with me here. People in the chat, we had over 3,140 engagements in the chat. Right now, I believe that segment is upward of about almost 3,000 views. And you all stuck it in with me here on the last segment. I'm sure some of you that were not here on the last segment that might be here tonight, thank you for sticking it out with us here this evening. It was a fun 5 hours. Indeed, it was. There was a lot of education and entertainment that was produced in that segment, and I look forward to some more education and entertainment tonight, live in living color, right here on the Road to Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I have to do some preliminaries right in the beginning. We are a boxing family. And so before we do our Town Watch check-in, I wanted to acknowledge something that's very, very important. And the reason why I say it is important because I want to make sure that I take time out of every podcast to thank you, all of you. If you are watching the replay of this live, after the live broadcast has already been published, you are included in this thank you. As you all know, most of you know, some of you may not know, I have literally been on YouTube publishing YouTube videos in the boxing community for 6 months. This is my 6th month. I don't consider me being a content creator for 6 months because I didn't reap the benefits of content creators in 6 months. However, officially, I have been a content creator for 4 months out of the 6 months that I have been publishing content in the YouTube boxing community. And so officially, as of yesterday, this channel that you are on right now has garnered 400,000 views in 6 months. I have right now over, let me just make sure I get all of the numbers correctly. I have a total of, hold on one second, I got to get this. This is important. I have a total of 137 videos. So in 137 videos within 6 months, this channel has garnered roughly over 400,000 views. And it's all because of you all. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Even if you didn't agree with something that I said on this channel, your viewership is a part of the viewership numbers that you see on your screen. Even when it was controversial and you didn't agree with any of the controversy, you still viewed the channel. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for your viewership. I really, really appreciate your viewership. I want to thank everybody. Even if you were trolling the channel, your viewership is still a part of the number you see on your screen. So I thank you as well. Even when you viewed the channel, had a handbook and a pen to jot down notes that you've learned from this channel, I want to say thank you for your viewership. And I know sometimes as content creators, we can get so caught up into the monotony of producing content, and we forget to thank the ones who make it all possible for us to do what we do on a consistent, regular basis. And I want to say thank y'all so much. I told y'all before, and I'm going to tell you all again, I don't do this for the looks. I don't do this for the likes. I do this for the licks. And so I thank everybody. It don't matter if you said something that I did not agree with. It don't matter if you said something that was distasteful to me. It don't matter if you insulted me in my comment section. It doesn't matter if you insulted me in the chat. It don't matter if you congratulated me in the chat. It don't matter if you not. It don't even matter if you subscribe and then you unsubscribe. The bottom line is every person is a part of the viewership that's on your screen, and regardless of your reason, I want to say thank y'all so much and salute to y'all, because you are the heroes in boxing. You are the pillars of the sport. And you all are the reason that I decided, after the interview I did on YSM Sports Media Channel several times, you all are the reason why I decided to create my own YouTube channel to provide knowledge of the business and the sport of boxing. So thank you all so much. Now that I got that out the way, let's continue with our regularly scheduled program. And I see the chat lighting up, and I know that y'all are on fire, waiting for us to deal with what's real tonight. But before we do that, we have to take care of some home business first, and that starts off with our Town Watch check-in. And if you are joining this podcast for the first time this evening, our Town Watch check-in is very simple. What we do in the chat, we acknowledge either where we were born and raised from or where we are residing now. Does not matter what city, state, country, or island that you represent. This is an all-inclusive part of the segment where everybody can participate. So I'm going to start it off first. You all in the chat that's very familiar with this process, y'all know how it is. Let's encourage more people that don't know how this process goes real quick to join in and participate, because I love engagement and human interaction. So I'll start first. I am born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I still represent the Arlington area of DFW in Texas. So I started it off, and now is your turn. When you drop your city, state, country, and or island in the chat, I am going to publicly acknowledge it and welcome you all in the building. And there's a specific reason I do it. And let me tell you what the reason is. I do Town Watch check-ins for this very reason, because no matter what part of the earth you represent tonight in this chat, I want to let you know that we all have one thing in common, and that is we all love the sport of boxing. And with that being said, I see Baltimore, West Baltimore in the building. I see H-Town in the building. Anchorage, Alaska is in the building. Dallas, Texas is in the house. H-Town in the house. San Diego, California in the house. Born in Honduras and raised in Brooklyn, New York is in the house. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is in the house. Y'all know the windy city of Chi-Town. The 606 is here. Who else we got? And we got D.A. Berg in the house. Yes, sir. Mr. Vegas. Come on, Mr. Vegas. I know where you're from, but everybody else don't. I got to drop your location, brother. Dallas, Texas is in the building. White Plains, New York is here. Dallas, Texas again is in the building. Glen Heights, Texas is in the building. We got ATL. Woo! By way of St. Louis in the building. My guy, Mike Harrison, is here. And Mirabel, Indiana is here. Jackson, Mississippi is right here. Allentown, PA is also here in the building tonight. Come on and let's do our little check-in. Let's do our check-in. Born in New York and currently in the metro area in ATL. I see you. Carolina in the building. Yes, yes. William Jr., I see you doing all that talking for the other guy. Drop your location, bro. This ain't the part of the show where we talking about him. We talking about our Town Watch check-in. That's what we doing right now. H-Town in the building. I see you, TJ from Carolina. I see you. Yes, indeed. Come on now. The city and state where Shakur is from. Carl Brown, Newark, New Jersey in the building. I see another Floyd. I see you from New Jersey in the building. Who else we got in here? Come on, Mr. Vegas. Come on, Mr. Vegas. Drop that thing, boy. Come on now. You know what we do around this time. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Where we at? Where we at? What we representing tonight? Come on, Rasul. You know I got to stop my show when I see my city in here. Philadelphia is in the building. Who else we got in here? Come on, let's do our town watch check-in. We only got a few moments left because we got to get to what we see on the screen right here. Oh, yes. I know where you're from, Mr. Vegas. Come on, I know you represent H-Town, but I just want the people to know that we represent Houston. We represent it all on this channel. Absolutely. Who else we got in here? As I see the viewership. Oh, the viewership is increasing astronomically. Yes, indeed. Y'all thought I was going to say exponentially, right? I had to switch my vocabulary. Yes, indeed. Astronomically, the viewership, yes, indeed, is growing. And I am so grateful for it. Oh, man. We see South Carolina with the vibes is here tonight. Yes, 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 indeed. Yes, indeed. Come on now. What else we got going on in here? Yes, we're going to talk some boxing tonight. Yes, 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 yes. We're going to talk some boxing this evening. Yes, we're going to talk some boxing this evening because it's all about what we love the most. And that is the business and sport of boxing. What else we got in here? Rasul, I appreciate your support, brother. Absolutely. Aaron H. Muhammad is here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody in the chat supporting Manager Marty and supporting all of our other boxing family members that's in the chat and in the viewership. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Hey, Brock Howard, you know I had to switch the adverb. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes. Let's get right into it. Before we start talking, oh my gosh, hold on for a minute. Somebody said that Omaha, Nebraska is in the house, and they said it's a town that I don't like. Bomac Extra Barbecue. I love Nebraska. I have not been to Nebraska yet. Look forward to going. So it's not that I don't like Nebraska. I got love for every part of the country. Yes, I do. And I appreciate you dropping your hometown Bomac Extra BBQ. I don't know if you're the real Bomac, like Terence Crawford's trainer. I'm not sure if that's really you, but that's just the name you might be using. But shout out to Omaha, Nebraska. Absolutely. Omega Red is here. Drop that location real quick, Omega. Oh, yes. Yes, Tyler, Texas is in the building. I see you, Mike Jones. Yes, let's do our town watch check-in. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What else we got? Who else we got in here? Yes. Come on, man. This is what we do. And y'all already know that if they're not watching now, you know the women, the ladies, they will be here soon if they're not watching now. You know it. If they're not in the chat, they're going to be here. Yes, indeed. Cleveland, Ohio is in the building. If you're watching the replay of this live, speaking of ladies, I want to welcome you to the Road the Tape podcast. I thank you for your viewership. I know that there's some other people out there that get mad when I welcome the women, but they'll be all right. They will be okay. Dry your tears and move on. And I know you're watching me. Bottom line is we welcome everybody that's here. And I welcome you. Monticello, Georgia in the building. I told you a woman was going to come in. My homegirl, Jackie Hernandez, is in the building. Didn't I just tell y'all that? Yes, indeed. Yes, we salute you, women. Thank y'all for supporting the sport of boxing. And thank y'all for supporting this channel. Appreciate your viewership and your time. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all see what's on your screen, right? Crawford versus Spence. No date set. 99% of the rumors are lies. That's the words of Stephen Espinoza. Let's start off right now the right way with acknowledging our first super chat of the evening from my guy, a man who's been on this channel since day one. My guy, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad. He says this is support for the Roll the Tape film crew and my brother, Manager Marty. Your work is continuing to purify the waters of our boxing stream. Thank you so much. Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad is like, soon as I mentioned the women, they just jumped in the chat because I see my other day one of day. Diana is here. Salute to you, Diana. Oh, yes, we're going to have an awesome show this evening. Thank you again, Aaron H. Muhammad, for your contribution to the channel. Man, we're going to have a good evening tonight. I'm not going to hold you all too long. I'm still tired from that. For a Diana, I'm still tired from that last 5 hour we did. That last five, I can't even say last. I got to say that last 5 hour energy drink we did on Tuesday evening. Man, we ran this thing up. And then I got a phone call from my homeboy today. My main man, Pots and Pans, my family, Detail Boxing, told me earlier today. He said, man, I ran up 6 hours. I said, what? He said, man, I ain't get off till 12 in the morning. So salute to Detail. I don't know if Detail Boxing is here at all yet. But if he is, salute to Detail. We look forward to having him on the broadcast pretty soon. We have another super chat from my main man, Pots and Pans. Hey, Ricky, man, I can't wait to see you, man. I'm gonna drop that link later, brother, because we got a conversation to have since you see your screen right now. Thank you, Ricky Williams, for your contribution to the channel. I just be talking though. Hashtag roll the tape. Ricky, it just seems like every time you come on my channel, this is like, I promise you, Ricky, every time you come on my panel, you came on the panel twice already. It's like every time Ricky come on the panel, y'all, magic appears when we get off the broadcast. So salute to my guy, Ricky Williams. I will be dropping a link for all the panelists that want to come on We're going to dive into this tonight. Thank you for your contribution again, Rick. We're going to dive in this evening. But before we do that, I don't want to just go straight on in and just deal with this, because there's some fights that are happening this weekend, tomorrow evening. I want to make sure I do my due diligence and at least acknowledge it, because this channel is not just about Terence Crawford. I know that people be hating on me saying that's all I talk about, but I'm telling you all, we talk about the business of boxing on this channel, and we give you all entertainment because we talk about the sport of boxing. And so we don't discriminate and we don't leave people out, especially the fighters. You know, so I look forward to watching some boxing tomorrow evening. We have a stacked card on ESPN Plus tonight with Shakur Stevenson, Big Baby Jarrett. Who else is on that card? I think Keyshawn Davis is on that same card too. Georgia Peach is in the house. I told y'all the women was jumping on. Didn't I? What I just tell y'all? We salute all the women that's coming in the chat and watching us live on a replay, even when you're not in the chat. We appreciate your contribution, women, to not only this channel, but to the other channels that you all support, and for the sport of boxing in general. Yes, so let's start it off right here before we get into the entree of the evening. Yep, so Shakur Stevenson, he's going to be fighting Yoshino in his hometown, of course, where he sells out very well. Shakur does, at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I've been to several fights there. Very, very good venue. So Shakur Stevenson will be fighting Yoshino. Then Keyshawn Davis will be fighting Anthony Yiggett. Then Big Baby Jared Anderson, he is also going to be fighting. There's a guy on the undercard. I don't know if they're going to produce and publish this on the actual live broadcast, but there's a guy named Brandon Chambers. He is a really, really good guy personally, and he can fight. And I've done a lot of business with his promoter. His promoter's a really, really good promoter. And so I look forward to seeing, hopefully they broadcast that. He will be fighting Bruce Carrington. That's going to be a very, very interesting fight. And I really hope that they broadcast that so I can support my guy, Brandon Chambers. That's going to be an action-packed card. Let me get this super chat out real quick. Thank you. Another one of my day oneers, my family, Mr. Pragmatic. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. And he says, continued success, Marty. Thank you so very much for supporting this channel, Mr. Pragmatic. And Diana, thank you for your super sticker and your contribution to the channel as well. Thank you for your support. If you're just joining the live broadcast, and you're just checking in, and you're just joining us even on the replay, let me go ahead and put this up because there's a reason why you might see a lot of congratulations in the chat. And so I want to make sure that I give you your flowers as you're just joining the live podcast. And that is very simply saying this: thank you for your support and viewership of this channel. I'll repeat it again for all of our live audience that's just joining us newly. Um, I've only been on YouTube as a quote unquote content creator. I published my first video in October. So that's a total of about 6 months, if my math serves me correctly. And I have been producing content on YouTube for 6 months. And according to what you see on your screen, out of 137 views, I have a total of 400,000 views in 6 months with 137 videos. And I want to tell all of you who view the channel, irregardless of whether you agree with me or not, irregardless of whether you said anything basically insulting or anything derogatory in the chat or even in the comments section and insults. I don't take any of those things personal. The bottom line is it doesn't matter because you still viewed the content. And I wouldn't be nowhere near 400,000 views if it was not for you all. So once again, for all of the new audience that's just joining us right now on the Roll the Tape podcast, I want to say again, thank you and salute. Thank you for your viewership. My guy, Carl Brown, another day one supporter of this channel. Thank you for your unwavering support, Mr. Carl, and your contribution. And Carl says, nothing but love. Thank you so very, very much. Salute to you, Sheena. I see you in the chat. I salute you. And I told y'all before that women, they are watching the content and they come onto the live programming here, and even if they're not in the chat, they're still viewing us. And so I said all that to say that because they are supporting the channel, I always try to protect the integrity of our women because I want to set the ground rules now before we even do the panel. Before I drop the link, you already know how I am and how we get down on the channel as Boxing Family. We respect the ladies, okay? So there's certain offensive language, and we, make sure that we censor as men. Certain behaviors we censor as men, out of respect for women. Well, of course, respect for ourselves first, and then respect for the ladies. So there's certain language, particularly, the male anatomy and different things of that nature that we don't use on this channel. Because there are women that they don't want to hear men talk about each other's anatomy and disrespect each other and all that. We can agree to disagree and still be respectful as men. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there for the new audience and for new viewers that don't know who I am and what we're about here. And this might be their first time joining us, so that we all know that this is a safe community. This is a safe environment. And just because we have different views, perspectives, and opinions does not mean we are not boxing family. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, let's get back to this whole Shakur Stevenson fight card. It is a great card. I don't think it's on pay-per-view. Unfortunately, it would have been nice because they stacked the card up with Shakur, Keyshawn, Jarrett Anderson, Bruce Carrington. Obviously, as you all know, these are all up-and-coming prospects. And it's very rare for a promoter to put all 4 or 5 or, just more than 2 prospects on the same card. And that goes to show you right there that Top Rank and Bob Arum truly understands that they are in competition with Showtime's crazy, busy, great schedule that they posted for half a year. So this is one of the ways that Top Rank is responding to make sure that the fans still have interest in their shows and not get caught up into just supporting the PBC banner events and different things of that nature, because we have some big fights that happened thus far from January all the way to right now. And of course, in about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll see Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. So that's a great way to compete with the competition of promoters. Get a card, get the card at the hometown of one of your top prospects, which is in New Jersey for Shakur Stevenson. Sell some good tickets, do a great broadcast, and then you continue to move the careers of all of your prospects simultaneously. So that's good business. That is truly, truly good business. All right. So let me say this for the man in the chat. I am not saying this just for women, the man in the chat. Let me clarify this. I'm not just saying let's be respectful as men just because there are women. I'm just saying be mindful. I shouldn't have to tell grown men to respect themselves. Okay? So what I'm saying is let's take an extra precautionary thought to be mindful that we do have women in the chat. That's what I'm basically saying. We do have women that's a part of the 400,000 views that you just saw on your screen. And I'm not being discriminatory against other people by just singling out women. I'm just saying as gentlemen, as men, let's conduct ourselves accordingly. Now that we got that out the way, we also have not just Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn, Big Baby Jarrett, and Bruce Carrington fighting. We also have what's my boy name? I like him, man. 154 pounder, Fundora, Sebastian Fundora. He's also fighting tomorrow evening, and that card is, man, that card is nice too, man. That card is also as equally as nice as even the ESPN card tomorrow. Salute to you, Valerie Nipper. Salute. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, so man, we got some good boxing coming on this week. I don't want to leave no fighter out, but those are like the two biggest fight cards, the two biggest fight cards that's supposed to take place tomorrow evening. And yeah, so we got Sebastian, excuse me, we have Sebastian Fundora. He's also the main event, and he will be fighting for the WBC interim title. So of course y'all know what that means when he becomes the WBC interim champion. If he wins, you know what happens, right? That means he'll be in line to probably fight the winner of Tim Tszyu and Charlo. Hopefully that fight materialize soon, because I think Jamel Charlo is injured, right? I think he has another injury, or his injury did not subside quickly as expected. So I think that fight is also going to be prolonged. And then watch this. Brandon Lee is also on that card with Sebastian Fundora. Once again, two prospects on the same card. Y'all see that? This is what business do. This is how business works. Frank Sanchez, another prospect. He is also going to be on that card. So we got some good boxing this weekend. I see somebody, oh man, Everything Boxing is in the building. Salute to Everything Boxing. Yes, indeed. Somebody told me in the chat that there are some fights on Showtime tonight. I wasn't even aware of that. Must be the Showbox segment. They usually have those on Friday evenings. I do know. Let me make sure because that's what's up. I hope that's not my guys from Philly, because there's a fight going on right now in Philly right now. And I could have went to the fight, but I didn't want to go to the fight and leave you all hanging tonight. Because I try to make sure that I continue to maintain my commitment to Tuesday and Friday evenings, here to do my live as you all view and support. I'm trying to check that out real quick to make sure if to see if there's any fights this evening. I don't want to leave nobody out from the broadcast as far as fighters are concerned. But while we checking on that, Showbox. Yeah, Showbox. I'm trying to see where do y'all know where is it? Where is it gonna be at? Because if it's in Philly, that means that they down there now. Because I know the promoter that's matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you who the promoter is that's doing the show tonight here in Philly, and he usually have his fighters on Showbox. His name is Marshall Kaufman. He's a good man. He promised me that he will do an interview with me on the channel. So we're just trying to get our schedules together. I would love for him to come on the broadcast to provide some education for you all from a promoter's perspective. He is the promoter. He promoted a lot of people, but he is most notably for promoting right now, currently, amongst other stars. He promotes Alicia Baumgartner. Most of you see me in the picture with her as I was talking to her and we were busting it up at the fights. That's because her promoter, I'm really cool with her promoter, and she came to Philly to the fight. So I see you, Dawn from California. Yes, I see you. Salute, Dawn from California. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Hollis. The fight is in New York. Okay, so it's not my guy, Mr. Marshall, doing the show. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in New York. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, Hollis. King's Promotion is in Renton, Pennsylvania. Yes. King's Promotion is in Renton, but Marshall, who is the promoter of King's Promotion and the owner, he does a lot of shows in the Pennsylvania area, particularly here in Philadelphia. Thank you for that again, Hollis. Okay, Valerie is saying it's held in Brooks, California. Okay. No, the fight's in California. The fight is in California. Oh, I got you. Oh, the fight is in California. I apologize, Dawn Jenkins. The fight is in California. I see. Thank you, Valerie and Dawn. So the fight is in California this evening. And of course, Dawn is from Detroit. Indeed. Okay. Now, we look forward to seeing those big fights. Let me do this because, I've been talking too long and didn't give you all any human interaction. Y'all know how I am about the human interaction. What's going on tonight, everybody? Yes, we're going to talk some boxing this evening. Yes, indeed. So it's going to be some great boxing tomorrow evening. We look forward to it. Make sure you all support the sport. ESPN is showing some great boxing tomorrow. I don't know if it's on ESPN or ESPN Plus, but it's on ESPN. And also, that's the Shakur Stevenson headline. And also on Showtime, Sebastian Fundora, he's also fighting in the WBC interim title fight. So we look forward to checking out boxing tomorrow evening. But for tonight, though, now that we got all of that out the way, let me go ahead and drop this link because I've been waiting all day to really talk about this. The viewership, listen now, the viewership has not only increased exponentially, but it has increased astronomically. Yes, indeed. I see you all viewing, and we are still right here, live in living color on the Road to Tape podcast. Y'all know what I'm about to do. I'm about to drop it because I see a lot of content creators are here to cook. We air fry on this channel, and I just see a lot of fans that want this cook. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Mr. Pratt, I had this mic for about a month and some change now. It just so happened that you probably can't see because I have it low, but I want to prop it up so my voice can be magnified as we discuss this evening. And I'm going to always try to keep it propped up as long as I can every time I do more subsequent live publications on this channel. And the reason why I wanted to make sure that I showed this microphone is because when you contribute to this channel, I use your resources to help me enhance the visual and audio quality of the content of this channel. And now we got that thing, that link is floating somewhere. Yeah, I know Dawn. I know Shakur Stevenson fight on regular ESPN. I know. I just wasn't sure if they was going to have an ESP on ESPN Plus, since the card was so stacked with so many good prospects under the top ranked banner. I knew it wasn't pay-per-view, but I just wanted to make sure if it was regular ESPN or ESPN Plus. Y'all see the link is in the chat. Yes. Oh, I see D-Town. There you go. He here. I see him in the chat. I always try to acknowledge all the content creators that come on the channel, because we all come together as content creators, and we publish to the best of our abilities. You know what I mean? So when I see a content creator, I always make sure I go out of my way to salute them. We don't all have to agree on every little thing. I just want everybody to understand that. It's okay. It's impossible to agree with every little thing that one person say or do. Okay? And let me do this as well, because I know that there are some people out there that always look forward to contribute to the channel. So you see the Cash App at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to support. I'm going to acknowledge you publicly, just like I would if you contributed through a super chat. You'll get the same benefits as well. And I'm just so excited to talk about this. The link is literally in the description. Okay, it's in the not in the description, it's in the chat. Description is after. Got it. After it's published. So it's in the chat. It's in the chat, and I'm going to drop it regularly so that we can talk about the topic that you all came here to talk about. And that is the words of Stephen Espinoza. And I'm going to play what Stephen Espinoza said. I've already did it in the beginning of the broadcast, but I see that the viewership is increasing astronomically. And also, we have new viewers coming in as we speak in the chat. So while we're all together, I'm going to take a very, very brief moment to replay the interview that Stephen Espinoza recently did with FightHype.com. And these are the words of Stephen Espinoza.
To April 22nd, I think is like pretty much a week away or so.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 weeks away. 2 weeks from Saturday. We're in the stretch run. We're premiering the second episode of All Access, with the show talks on Friday night. We'll see what we get. This weekend we'll be obviously doing a lot of promotion there. Outside chance maybe we'll get Ryan at the fight, but at this point, it's the fight everyone's looking for. Nothing, not to take away from this fight, but it's hard to get people to think about or talk about or focus on anything other than April 22nd, because it's one of those fights that the public is reacting just the way we hope we would.
And this might be the best run for Showtime since you're president of sports for Showtime. Just tell me about the beginning of this year for you guys and what the future holds, and obviously the very thick rumors of Spence and Crawford having re-engaged in negotiations, man. Just to clear all that up for me real quick.
Yeah, look, I think, coming out of the pandemic, I think everybody's really motivated to really step up and make the best schedule we can. I think we did that in 2022. We did that going back to 2021, with a big year that had, Mayweather exhibition, had Canelo planned, and some really big events in that one as well. So I think we've been on a roll, coming out of the pandemic, and going with this part of the year. The goal was to come out as busy as we possibly can. And we always try to do to sort of spread out. Here, just the timing, we're getting big fight after big fight. We tried to make Spence Crawford last fall, it didn't happen. And now hopefully we'll get another shot at this summer. There are talks ongoing. Look, there's still issues to overcome, but as long as everybody's engaged, which everyone is, and as long as everybody is willing to keep working at it, then I think there's a good shot of it happening.
Yeah, are you very optimistic that what are the chances of it happening? I know that it's been rumored that possibly Thurman's in the wings with some kind of deal already secured for Spence, but obviously Crawford is the fight that you guys really want to do. It seems like you said, they're talking again. What do you think is the percentage of
I think they're both fantastic fights. I mean, I know that there's a tiebreaker. One fight is obviously for the undisputed title, the other one isn't. But I don't think boxing fans lose in either one. So if the undisputed fight can happen, then I think Spence Thurman is a rivalry that's been in the works for quite some time. There's been some bad blood, some animosity there going back years. So either way, I think boxing fans win. Now I know what boxing fans want most of all. I'm not going to put percentage on it. I don't want to really make predictions. There's a lot of rumors going on. 99% of them were wrong. The one basic fact is that we are still talking. There is not a date set. We wouldn't be setting a date until we got to the finish line. And at that point, so we're not going to set any artificial deadlines and say, look, here's the date of the fight. We need to finish up the deal. That's putting the cart before the horse. Finish up the deal and set the date. So the reality, everybody wants to break news. Everyone wants to say that they're in the middle of something. The bottom line is, and the truth is, they are still talking, and people are still working hard to get it done. I'm optimistic. I like to think that it will happen because both fighters want that. So I think that's the big step.
That's cool. Thank you, Stephen. A great job so far this year, man. Looking forward to what.
That was Stephen Espinoza, the head of CBS now, who's the parent company of Showtime and the president of Showtime Sports and Programming. He is the man that pushed all the buttons to create all of the money and budgets to make sure all the fights happen on Showtime. That's what he said. That was Stephen Espinoza said. Those were his words. Did y'all hear that clearly, though? Did you all hear that? Did you all hear what Stephen Espinoza said in the chat? I wanted to make sure that the audio quality was clear as I was using my phone to basically produce that. Did everybody hear that? I see one person said yes. Okay. So I need answers. We need answers. And we need them now because we don't know, out of all fairness, we don't know exactly when that interview actually was conducted. We know when it was actually published, but we don't know when the interview was actually conducted. The interview was published yesterday. So we don't know when it was conducted, but that was yesterday from FightHype.com. And here we are this evening. And the link is in the chat. You don't have to go and search for it and fish for it because it's coming your way. And literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just beamed the link in the chat. Motorsports, sports. You're more than welcome, my brother. You've joined the panel before. I think you joined the panel on Tuesday. You're more than welcome. Any content creator that's here, you are more than welcome. Any fan who's not a content creator, you are more than welcome. The link is in the chat. Let's talk about this right now. And, there are some key words that I heard Espinoza say. There's some keywords that you all heard Espinoza say. I wanted to recap those keywords as we discuss this. Link is in the chat. Feel free to jump on. We're going to discuss this evening. So there were some words that Espinoza used, and I wanted to recap them real quick. He said there are still issues to overcome. That's what Stephen Espinoza said. There are still issues to overcome. He also said negotiations are ongoing. He also said that there are a lot of rumors surfacing, and 99% of them are wrong. But that 1% of those rumors are true, and that is that Crawford and Spence and their representation and or the lack thereof are negotiating and they are talking. He also said that there is no date set, though we've heard that there was a date set for June the 17th. He said there won't be a date set until the appropriate time. What was the appropriate time? The appropriate time is finishing the deal first and then setting a date. And that means basically finishing the deal when both parties agree to the terms. And then, of course, the next part of that would be for the promoters to research and reserve the venue. And of course, dates have to be thrown around between the promoter and the venue when discussing the availability of that venue. And he also said there are people still working hard to get it done. Those are the 5 or 6 things that my ears heard that came from the mouth of Stephen Espinoza, and your ears heard it as well. So let's talk about it. And here's what I like to say first. I've been saying this over and over again since I started doing this podcasting or content creation. When 2 fighters want to fight, they fight. And when 1 fighter or 2 fighters don't want to fight, they don't fight. So I want to know what's happening here. I want to know what the words that we heard mean, because I listen to words that people say, and as you all may remember me saying this before, I've learned how to listen to the words that people don't say. So I'm just trying to sift through all of those words to confirm whether or not Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is going to finally fight, whether it be in June, whether it be July, whether it be August. Reason I'm using those 3 months as a reference is because Stephen Espinoza also said in that interview, he said sometime during the summer. That is what the projected dates are. So I'm trying to figure out what are the delays. I mean, what can those delays possibly be? I would like to hear from you all in the chat. I would like to hear from you all that's watching the replay of this live in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts and let's engage on it right now. What can possibly be the holdup that has Stephen Espinoza say all of those words that we just heard him say? Thank you, Mighty Yoel, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Another one of my day oneers. Salute. So So talk to me, y'all. I mean, you all came here to hear about this. And so I would like a little feedback. The link is in the chat, and I'm going to drop the link again in the chat if you want to come up here and air fry on this point. Because I just need to know. You all need to know. We're all fans at the end of the workday. We're still fans. What is the holdup? Mr. AMG, thank you for your contribution to the channel. As always, thank you for your support. Mr. AMG says, hit the like button. We need answers. Thank you again, Mr. AMG. We need answers. What's happening? We need to know what is happening with this fight. We've heard a date last year that the fight was going to materialize and happen in November. This is way before Terence Crawford went public on his IG Live. This is before all of that. We've heard it was November the 19th. I recall hearing that the fight was going to happen between Spence and Crawford on November the 19th. Ironically, November 19th was reserved for David Evanesian in another country. So neither did Crawford and Spence fight on November 19th. David Evanesian didn't fight on November 19th either. My point is, though, this is what we've been hearing. And we've been hearing that from people who may be reliable sources. But the sources that they think is reliable may not be reliable. So the sources that's putting it out there, they may be reliable people. They may be telling the truth based on when they say as per sources, because they do have sources. But what happens is the sources that they haven't been as reliable as they are. And how do we know that's a fact and not an opinion? We know that's a fact and not an opinion. Why or how? Because every time, as per sources say, next time we hear about something, it never happens, or there's something off with it. So this is not me singling out any of those sources. I'm just talking from an overall point of view that we have to deal what was real. And so we keep on following these sources. You see, I told y'all before, and I'm going to tell you all again right now, for those of you that might be new to this channel. I don't go by hearsay. People that's in the chat that know me personally, people that's going to watch the replay of this live that know me personally, and people that's watching me live right now that's not in the chat. Y'all know I verify everything I hear. I research. What I always told y'all to do when I was on YSM Sports interviews, do your homework. I love doing homework. Remember I told y'all that? Some of y'all may not recall me saying that. When I was growing up, my mother, while every other kid got an opportunity to come home from school and just run straight outside, my mother raised us that when y'all come home from school, y'all can get a little snack and it's homework time. And that's how I raise my children. Homework time, study time, prepare for the test, prepare for the quiz. Homework, research. And so when you have sources, even if you trust the source by word, everything must be verified. And so I carry myself the same way here in the YouTube boxing community. Everything must be verified. If it can, everything might not be verifiable, but I'm talking about information that is verifiable. You must do the research, must conduct homework to verify. For instance, they said, oh, Terence Crawford is making $10 million as per sources. This is what one of those media outlets were running to the ground. And then another media outlet ran it to the ground. And then even Brian Custer interviewed Terence Crawford and asked him about it. Terence Crawford never said yes or no. His response was, gotta get the money. My point is, that was information that was reported, but it wasn't verified. I really don't care how much money Crawford made. I'm just using this as a reference. What's up, Errol? I see you in the chat, family. Salute. What I'm saying is we have to start verifying information because right now we don't even know if the fight's going to happen in June. We don't know if the fight's going to happen in July. We don't know if the fight's going to happen even in August. And I'll take it a step further. We don't know if the fight's going to happen, period, between Crawford and Errol Spence. And we have been led down the primrose path only to get our hopes high and then nothing materializes. So my question to the chat, my question to you viewers, and my question to those watching the replay of this live, you heard what Stephen Espinoza just said because I just played the audio of what he said. Is this fight going to happen? What's happening? We need answers. What's happening? What is going on? I won't replay the video again, or the audio rather, that Stephen Espinoza did when he was conducted an interview by FightHype.com. But I want to give you what he said so we all can be on the same page. He said there are issues to overcome. Negotiations are ongoing. 99% of the rumors are wrong. There is no date set. Finish the deal first, and then we'll set the actual date. And people are still working hard to get it done. The link is in the chat. Now, I'm asked by somebody to play the audio again. But I just told y'all the basic things that Stephen Espinoza said. Now, just because I was asked, I'm going to play the audio again because Steppin' Chocolate Princess asked me to. Because she just got here. And she has supported this channel. So I'm going to play it again. And we're going to get right to it. Before I play it, Master Khalik is in the background, wants to join in. Master Khalik, I appreciate your support and viewership. Hold on. Let me play this audio so that we all can be on the same page again. I promise you, brother, I'll let you on. But this is what we have to deal with, y'all. We got to deal with what's real. That's what y'all came to hear. Let's deal with what's real. These are the words again of Stephen Espinoza. And y'all know what I'm going to say. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
Yeah, and of course I gotta ask you about Gervonta Davis holding the media day today for his fight on April 22nd. I'm actually a little surprised you're here, not over there. What do you expect from that media day from Gervonta, and how do you feel heading into April 22nd? Is like pretty much a week away or so.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 weeks away. Yeah, 2 weeks from Saturday. We're in the stretch run. We're in the second episode of All Access. With the show box on Friday night. We'll see what we get. This weekend we'll be obviously doing a lot of promotion there. Outside chance maybe we'll get Ryan at the fight. But at this point, it's the fight everyone's looking for. Not to take away from this fight, but it's hard to get people to think about or talk about or emphasis on anything other than April 22nd because it's one of those fights that the public is reacting just the way we hope we would.
And this might be the best run for Showtime since you started, actually, since you're president of sports for Showtime. Just tell me about the beginning of this year for you guys and what the future holds. And obviously, the very thick rumors of Spence and Crawford having re-engaged in negotiations, man, just to clear all that up for quick.
Yeah, I think, coming out of the pandemic, I think everybody's really motivated to really step up and make the best catch we can. I think we did that in 2022. We did that going back to 2021, with a big year that had, Mayweather exhibition, had another one planned, had some really big events in that one as well. So I think we've been on a roll, coming out of the pandemic, and going with this first part of the year. The goal is to come out as busy as we possibly can. And we always try to make the big fights. And, sometimes they happen all at once. Sometimes, it happens, it's sort of spread out. Here, just by the timing, we're getting big fight after big fight. We tried to make Spence Crawford last fall, didn't happen. And now hopefully we'll get another shot at this summer. There are talks ongoing. But there's still issues to overcome. But as long as everybody's engaged, which everyone is, and as long as everybody is willing to keep working at it, then I think there's a good shot of it happening.
Yeah, are you very optimistic that what are the chances of it happening? I know that there's been rumored that possibly Thurman's in the wings with some kind of deal already secured for Spence, but obviously Crawford is the fight that you guys really want to do. It seems like you said, they're talking again. What do you think is
I think they're both fantastic fights. I mean, I know that if there's a tiebreaker, one fight is obviously for that disputed title, the other one isn't. But I don't think boxing fans lose in either one. So if the undisputed fight can happen, then I think Spence Thurman is a rivalry that's been in the works for quite some time. There's been some bad blood, some animosity there going back years. So either way, I think boxing fans win. Now I know what boxing fans want most of all. I'm not going to put a percentage on it. I don't want to really make predictions. There's a lot of rumors going on. 99% of them are wrong. The one basic fact is that we are still talking. There's not a date set. We wouldn't be setting a date until we got to the finish line. And at that point, so we're not going to set any artificial deadlines and say, look, here's the date of the fight. We need to finish up the deal. Let's put the cart before the horse. Finish up the deal and set the date. So the reality, everybody wants to break news. Everyone wants to say that they're in the middle of something. The bottom line is, and the truth is, they are still talking, and people are still working hard to get it done. I'm optimistic. I like to think that it will happen because both fighters want it to happen. So I think that's the big step.
That's cool. Thank you, Stephen. Great job.
Those again were the words of Stephen Espinoza. And I'm going to do a recap again so that we all can be on the same page this evening. Stephen Espinoza said, there are issues to overcome. Negotiations are ongoing. 99% of the rumors are wrong. There is no date set. We must finish the deal first and then set the date. He also said that there are people still working hard to get it done. And we are all still talking. I have Master Khaliks here and Detail Boxing. They both will be joining the panel right now. As you all know, none of this is rehearsed, and we're live in living color on the Roll the Tape podcast. Master Khalik, how you doing this evening, sir?
Peace, great guy. How you be?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. How about yourself?
Oh man, I don't think I ever came on the panel, so I was just coming to say peace, man. How you doing, bro? I be in the chat. I support the show. What up to my bro D-Town, man. I talked to D-Town before. But yeah, I talked to you before. That was on money shit though. But yeah, what's good, man?
Okay.
Yeah, but far as this fight, man, I'm over it, bro. Like Spence needs to just move on, bro. If they ain't got a deal set, It's nothing to talk about no more. If they ain't got the deal set, like you always say, manager. When two fighters want to fight, they fight. So if they ain't got a deal set already, man, then Smith needs to just move on, bro. I'm sick of waiting. Mm-hmm.
So detail joining the channel, the podcast, brother. I respect your perspective, Master Khalik. We got Detail Boxing here. Detail, you heard what Master Khalik just said. What's your take on all of this stuff that you heard Stephen Espinoza say, Detail?
I mean, that's what that is. You know, Stephen Espinoza ain't gonna pull the wool over the family eyes. You know, he not in the game to sit there and lie and the shuck and jive. You know, we got ESPN and them on that side over there just making up rumors. First of all, they're not even in negotiations. They on the outside looking in. So, you know, they got people out here saying this and saying that. At the end of the day, if the family, we need to pay attention to PBC, Errol Spence, and Showtime. Because the fight is going to be on Showtime. Terence Crawford trying to fight Errol Spence. Terence Crawford going to have to deal with Al Heyman. So we don't need to listen to nobody else. But you also got people saying that, oh, Floyd Money Mayweather said this. Floyd Money Mayweather said that. You got to understand, Floyd Money Mayweather got his information secondhand. The people who understand what's going on first is Errol Spence and Al Heyman. After they talk and do what they need to do, Floyd Money Mayweather said yes. He called Al Heyman, talked to Al Heyman almost every day. But he gets his information secondhand. So people, we all need to understand that if we don't hear from Errol Spence, Al Heyman, or Showtime, then it ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's set the foundation. Detail, you was here as a witness. People in the chat was here as a witness. I want to say that I like Chicken Talk. I think he is a reliable source. He was on our channel. Well, he was on my channel. I don't know if he was on your channel, but he was on my channel, Detail. You were on the panel on Tuesday evening. He came on the panel. Ricky Williams, I don't know if Ricky's still here in the chat, but Ricky was also on the panel. And we all were discussing, will the fight happen on June the 17th? And I believe, once again, that Chicken Talk is a reliable source. But I think Chicken Talk told us on Tuesday that because I asked him, I think I asked him, I said, you don't have to give the name of your source because I don't think that's important. It's none of our business. But I was basically trying to say, is this source reliable enough for you? And he said yes. He also told us live, right on the podcast, that the date that he got, June 17th, his sources came from the Terence Crawford side.
Yeah.
Was his exact words. And I believe that, once again, Chicken Talk is a reliable source. Maybe somebody on Crawford's side who may not be as reliable may have told him that, and he believed that. And I'm not even saying his source is lying because I don't know his source and I'm not assuming or accusing. I'm just saying that we just heard Stephen Espinoza say what he said, and then we heard Chicken Talk and his from his sources on Crawford's side say the date on what's going to happen on June 17th. So this is not a knock on Chicken Talk. I don't even think this should be a knock Benson or Carpenters because they're going by reliable sources that they may have. And those reliable sources might be hearing it from somebody else. Bottom line is the information haven't been truly verified because we heard what Stephen Espinoza just said. So I wanted to set the foundation for that so we all can be on the same page because I know what's going to eventually happen, Detail. People are going to try to start something between me and Chicken Talk and say, Manager Marty has said, that you no. We're gonna nip that in the bud right now. Chicken talk, in my opinion, from my experiences with being around AM sports media, Chicken talks content, Chicken talk tagging me in the video of about Alexis Rocha fight. He is a reliable source, but he didn't get his information from nobody else but Crawford's side. That's what he said. So I just want all on the same page. Don't have no nonsense to try to make it seem like I'm throwing a shot at Chicken Talk. I have no quarrels with Chicken Talk. I'm just saying he was on the channel in the panel for people that did not see it on Tuesday.
I saw.
I understand that even if you hear,
yeah, I saw him say that that he got it from Gad.
Right. So even if y'all heard him say that, what I'm trying to do is alleviate other fans from going over to throw shots at Chicken Talk by saying, "Oh man, you lied to us," because he didn't lie to the people. He got his sources from somebody else that might have got their sources from somebody else. But the bottom line is we need answers. And we got to deal with what's real. D-Town, we've heard words like issues to overcome. Negotiations are ongoing. Master Khalik, we've heard 99% of the rumors are wrong. We've heard there was no date set. We've heard we got to finish the deal first before we set the date. We've heard people are working hard to get the deal done. And Master Khalik, we've heard we're all still talking. In your opinion, Master Khalik, what can they possibly still be talking about?
Yeah, that was my first initial question. Like what is there to talk about? There's nothing to talk about. And another thing is we know that Terence Crawford himself and his team tell us lies. We heard Terence Crawford tell us lies. We heard his team, as far as Bernie the boxer. He came on in the beginning. This was maybe September of last year when Bernie the boxer came on. He said the man signed the date. Remember that. And I watched these panels and I don't never see nobody bring up Bernie saying that the man signed the date. But Terence Crawford said that he wanted to fight this year. Well, if you sign for the date, then you sign for the date. You agreed to the date. So what Bernie said was that Terence Crawford told him to tell the people this, that he signed for the ring, he signed for the gloves, he signed for the location, he signed for the date. The man signed everything. That's what Bernie said. And he said that Terence Crawford gave him the liberty to speak on these things, right? So I don't see nobody bringing that up. So we have to bring that up. And we have to say that Terence Crawford team are liars. So if the man signed for the date, then why did he say, I wanted to fight this year? You said you signed for the date, not agreed. Bernie said the man signed. Now, this was before everything came out that we know he didn't sign and we know he didn't agree. So anything coming from Terence Crawford's side, I don't believe a word of it. They all cap. They all lies. They full of it. I'm not going to believe this until it comes from Errol Spence side. Now, that's just my take on it, man. Chicken talk, no, the brother's not lying. He may be believing what he's hearing. That doesn't make him a liar. You know what I'm saying? That makes him, he's reporting what he's hearing and he believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's taking these people at their word. But these people are not trustworthy. Bomac, Bernie, Terence Crawford, they're not trustworthy. You can't believe a word come out their mouth. And that's my take on it.
Got you. D-Town. I mean, we've heard Stephen Espinoza say all these words. And unfortunately, we're still here and we still don't have a date. After all of these reports said that they're going to fight on June 17th, or they're going to fight in general. What's all this about, D-Town? I mean, what's going on with this thing here?
Well, first of all, we have to realize we talk about Terence Crawford. We're not talking about Deontay Wilder. We're not talking about Charlo. We're not talking about these other great fighters like, up-and-coming fighters, Devin Haney and, Shakur Steve. We're not talking about these guys. We're talking about Terence Crawford, Mr. Duck Dynasty. We're talking about him. When you talk about him, it's like putting a 5-year-old up to a grown man. So it's difference. They human, yes, but the 5-year-old can't do what the grown man do. So they're in different categories. So when we say Terence Crawford, we already have a red flag. We know this. Now, as far as chicken talk, hey, the man, his source that been giving him information probably was right all along. But when he said that Terence Crawford team, oh no, we ain't gonna do this. No, we everything else you said probably lined up. But when you said Terence Crawford and his team, or somebody from Terence Crawford camp, a team, or whatever it is, we got a red flag. So for chicken talk, I think he's a stand-up guy. He believed the source, but the problem is when his source got the information from Terence Crawford team, we can't believe that. How many dates have we had since last year and this year? Too many dates. Oh, it might be this date. It might be this date. It might be this date. Terence Crawford ain't gonna make no date because if he make a date, that might be his last date, and he know this. Terence Crawford do not want to see Errol Spence Jr. We keep saying this. If Terence Crawford felt like that he could beat Errol Spence, he would have made that fight a long time ago. He don't believe that he could beat Errol Spence. This man didn't dreamed about it. He didn't wrote it down on a paper. He didn't put it in the computer and did the synthesize, whatever they do, where it goes through 1,000 times, and it came out that he ain't gonna beat Errol Spence, or the percentages are real low. So Terence Crawford know within himself, no, I can't go down that route. He already said that he don't want to lose in front of his kids. He already said that it's better to be undefeated than to fight great fights. He already said this. He already said, I'm not taking 40%. He already said, I'm not taking 50%. He already said the fight is behind me. This man has said so much stuff, he could write a biography on the things he didn't say it. So why would we believe Terence Crawford? This man claimed that he's the puppet master of his own fans. Ain't nobody believing Terence Crawford. Only way I would believe it that Stephen Espinoza, Errol Spence, or PBC come out and say it's a done deal. And guess what? Before they say it's a done deal, they're gonna make sure they have Terence Crawford in shackles. Probably put him up in the jail cell, make sure he can't get hold of nobody. Take his phone away from him, take his pen away from him, take his paper away from him, put the blindfold on him where he can't see where he's going to make sure that this fight happens.
Well, you said a lot, and I know there's a guy back here. There's two guys. I'm gonna let Ricky Williams on, and then we have Motorsport Sports. As we all know, he's been in the chat a lot, and he basically, have been supporting Terence Crawford through this whole ordeal. I do want to give him the opportunity to speak, but before you speak, Motorsport, I always try to give preference to content creators. So we got Ricky Williams here. I'm gonna let Ricky start it off with his take on everything, and then Motorsports is on you after Ricky. Ricky, you've heard everything that Stephen Espinoza said, brother. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, what's your take on all this stuff, man? Ricky?
My take is par for the course. It's just weird to me how when it's your favorite fighter, you don't when somebody not your favorite fighter do this, y'all call it out, no problem. Duck. They play too much. I'm sick of this dude. This dude don't want to fight. Right? But when it's your favorite fighter, nah, we got to keep giving him grace. We got to keep giving him light. Like I told y'all, at this point, you should believe nothing that comes from a source, not PBC or Errol Spence himself or Showtime. None of them. Why do y'all believe information coming from? It's only at this point in time, even though the rumor was he was signing with Golden Boy and all this other stuff, as far as we know, business-wise, he's still a free agent, correct? So that means it's only one promotional company, right? That means it's only one promotional company putting on the event. And that's PBC and Showtime. Mm-hmm. But why do we keep getting information from ESPN loyalists? Y'all call it game. I call it common sense. It's common sense. This is what my opinion, my humble opinion. This is what Bud did. He was gonna fight Rocha, right? Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I don't think they talking. I think they talking. I think I think they're talking. I think Errol Spence and Bud Crawford Showtime, they talking, right? They talking. But what happens is then at this point, what Bud did is use them talking to get out of the Rocha fight, to push back that mandatory, right? But then what's going to happen is he'll report, hey, you know what? It didn't work out with Errol Spence. And then he'll fight some other fluffer. Because what this man does is what he does every time, right? He messes up the schedule. Whenever the schedules align for this fight to happen, Bud does something to not make the fight happen, right? In 2018, right, when the fight started hitting the lips, and let me say this, right? And don't nobody got to believe me. You know, who am I, Marty? Right? Who am I? Right? And I keep saying this, and nobody can prove me wrong. Show me the tape where Bud Crawford called out Errol Spence Jr. He never did. What happened is that Errol started coming up in the ranks like a monster. Terence Crawford was the guy at 140 and moved up. And of course, with us being boxing fans, with us wanting to see the best fight the best, we say those two should fight. ESPN, hey, what about this Errol Spence guy? What about Errol Spence? Whenever he goes somewhere in a fight and somebody's putting a mic in a camera in his face, hey, what about Errol Spence? Bud never asked for Errol. He never asked for him. He asked for everybody but EJ. It's different when I'm coming for you. It's different when I put your name out my mouth than when a reporter asks me a question about you. He never asked for this fight. He never asked for it. He been telling y'all constantly, hey, I want Pacquiao. I want Pacquiao. I want Ricky Burns. I want Ndongo. He didn't want Sean Porter. Let's be real. Y'all sit up here and try to act like y'all wasn't here. Like, that's what's wrong with people's minds, bro. Y'all minds is on a 24-hour news cycle, right? When you reporting here and you covering you really in the state, you really in the boxing, and I got receipts on my channel, right? I remember when Bob Short was trying to short Sean Porter major dough. And the WBO went in and said, hey, pay this man a fair wage.
Facts.
Right? We want this fight. Stop trying to say Bud want this fight. Bud does not. Bud could care less. He could care less if the fans see him and EJ fight. They could care less. He could care less. He keep telling y'all I was already undisputed. That's like saying I already hit Janet Jackson. I ain't got to do it no more. And like I said, at the end of the day, Marty, the truth is, whether you're a Bud fan, whether you're an EJ fan, at the end of the day, when history passed, no one's going to care why the fight didn't happen. All they going to say is these two fighters didn't meet in their prime. These two fighters didn't give the fans the fight they wanted.
Facts.
We the one losing. Right? So again, I keep telling y'all, hope is the most dangerous word in the dictionary. Hope is you wanting something to happen with no action on your part. So y'all keep hoping this fight happens. It's not worth talking about anymore. It's not everybody so quick to throw, oh, the fight happening because it clicked, because everybody want to see it, but it's not worth. This is what the very thing, the puppet master, right? Bud, the puppet master, he uses us, right, to blow his name up whenever he about to fight some nobody, simply by attaching himself to Errol Spence Jr. Right? The business makes sense. The money makes sense. The only thing that don't make sense is why this man won't sign a contract. The only thing that makes sense, he's a fighter. He's a fighter. They ain't scared. No fighter ain't scared of no man. I ain't saying that man's scared. I know some fight. He don't want to fight that man.
He's terrified.
And it could be for any reason. But like we said the other night, when they talking crazy me in the chat, Marty, right? They looking at me like I'm crazy when I say something, like I got a reason to lie to any of y'all. I don't believe the fight happening. I don't believe it. What's the incentive for Bud to fight EJ? Because if you believe Bud the man he is, it's a 50-50 fight. The incentive, this could be the biggest payday of this man's career. Will put him in. Listen, y'all need to hear. Y'all need to listen.
Did you hear what I said?
Do you guys not understand this fight would put Bud Crawford in legendary status? If he won, 2-time undisputed, the man who's constantly throwing his accomplishment in y'all face. ESPN Fighter of the Year, Marty. 3-weight division champion, Marty. Undisputed at 140, Marty. And he won't give y'all double undisputed. I'll rest my case. I dropped the mic.
Wow, very, very well stated, Ricky. You said a lot, and while you were talking, while D-Town was talking, Sports is here, and he kept shaking his head. No, then he was shaking his head. Yes, we don't know what you were agreeing to or disagreeing with, Motorsport, but the floor is yours, my brother. Thank you for coming on the panel. I'm sorry, I don't think y'all can hear me. I apologize. I was saying that very well said, Ricky. You said a lot, and while you were speaking, while D-Town was speaking, Motorsport Sports, we all see you shaking your head no, then you were shaking your head yes. We don't know what you were agreeing to or what you were disagreeing to. Thank you for coming back on the panel. The floor is yours, my. I think you're on mute, Motorsport. Hold on, Motorsport. You on, brother?
Yeah. First, salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Ricky. Some points he had, some things he's saying was I actually agree with, but a lot of things he was saying I don't agree with. Like he said that Bud didn't call for Spence. I remember they had a run-in with each other in 2018, and he told him, like, what's up with a fight with me? And after his fight with Kell Brook, he definitely in the ring said, I want Errol Spence. I watched these fight live. So those, I didn't agree with that. And I don't agree that Bud is just the main holdup of this fight. I don't believe that Bud is just the duck that the way everybody talk about Bud is like he's soft or something. Like he's not one of the top fighters in the game right now. Like you get what I'm saying? Like Bud is one of the.
Yeah, I have.
Go ahead, Marty.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I thought you was done talking. I was going to ask you something.
Nah, let me answer your question. You can ask the question.
You said that you said that you watched all of Bud's, I guess, post-fight interviews, of course, his fights. I had a question for you. The last time we all saw Terence Buck, the last time we saw Terence Buck Crawford in the ring, he was in his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. And I always jokingly say he was in front of his 8th grade teacher, his high school prom date, his kids, and probably his pastor from his church when he was a kid. He was asked about Spence being next, and he was not definitive when he was asked the question about Spence. In your opinion, as a Crawford fan, why didn't he call Spence out then when he was in his hometown in Nebraska in his last fight with David Ebenezer?
Why do we have to?
Well, this is just customary in boxing.
No, I
Like
mean,
when,
I'm not in his mind, so I can't answer the question as to why he didn't call him out. But I can just get it out. It's like why should he have to? He's not like,
well, because it's
manager. Can I answer that? Can I answer that, manager?
Yeah.
The reason why he should have to call him out when he had his last fight with David, I've been sneezing, is because this was the perfect moment to call Errol out. They was just in negotiations. He walked away from negotiations. They specifically asked him about Spence. And what the man should have said was exactly what he said in that tweet. When he said, Errol, I'm ready for you to spin the block. He should have said that. Like, okay, I got this fight out the way. I wanted to get a fight in before the year is out. Errol Spence, I'm ready. Let's get it. He should have said it then. Any other time, the fight was not even realistic. This was the only time that the fight was realistic. After he fought Sean Porter and said that little nonsense in the ring, it wasn't realistic at that point. You know, Spence had Ugas coming up. It wasn't realistic. This was the only time where the fight was realistic, where they both was ready. It was the time for the fight. This was the only time that it was realistic for them to fight. And he was asked specifically about Errol Spence. And the man said, I'm a free agent. I'm just looking for the big fights. That's when that's why he should have called him out, because this was the only time that the fight was realistic. They was already in negotiations. Negotiations ain't go well. Of course, I say he ducked. It's clear he ducked. But, you know, to prove he didn't duck, he should have called the man out and said, I'm ready for you to spin the block, Errol. I got what I got out the way. Now spin the block, and me and Errol is about to get it in. But he didn't do that. He avoided any questions about Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he should have called the man out. He got on Twitter and did it a week later. Why he ain't do it in the ring? You know what I'm saying? It's because the man don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. He told us this several times. He always said the fight had never happened. He sat there and chased Manny Pacquiao for 6-7 years.
Real quick, can I ask you a question real quick? Y'all can hear me? All right, so I know y'all everybody here watch boxing, right? So when Errol Spence came back from his accident, right? And he fought Danny Garcia. Bud was in the stands. Bud was at his fight. Do you recall Errol Spence said in his post-fight interview? When he was in the ring, when they asked him about Bud, do you recall what he said?
What'd he say?
He said, I don't even know why that man is here. I don't go to none of his fights.
Okay.
I don't know why he's here. Errol Spence basically shunned Bud in that post-fight interview in the ring. I watched it. I watched the screen, and I was baffled.
Now, what's the relevance, great God? What's the relevance?
I mean, you just said about his post-fight. He should have called them out.
No.
Let me finish, bro. I let you have your spill. Let me finish. We're talking about a post. The original question was that manager Marty asked me was, why didn't Bud call him out in his post-fight interview? Right, his post-fight, right, his last fight, correct? Right. Now I'm going back. Now I said I don't know. I'm telling you that I asked you why would he should. You gave me a whole spill about that, right? So now we go back to where this fight was building. Right? This fight, it could have happened after the Danny Garcia fight.
No, bro.
No.
Please,
we're not gonna do that.
No.
You can't.
No, bro, because you're going back into the past. We're talking about.
I'm not going into the past.
You are. Danny Garcia. No, God. Danny Garcia is in the past when Errol first came off his accident, when Terence Crawford himself said, don't fight me now. Terence Crawford
only had 2 fights since his accident, brother. Danny Garcia and Ugas.
Okay.
He didn't fight nobody else.
So look. After Errol fought Ugas, he called Terence Crawford out. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's irrelevant what you talking about with the Danny Garcia shit, it was irrelevant. The man was still fresh off a car accident. Terence Crawford said, don't fight me next and all that. So, but that's in the past. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, but we're talking about building a fight.
No,
why? because
we're
it's not
talking about
realistic. It wasn't realistic for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence to fight after the David Avenesian fight because Errol Spence was rumored to be in talks with Keith Thurman. So in reality, he had his car accident on December 10th. So that at that time, he's not knowing that Errol Spence is not going to fight or not going to have a fight scheduled for Keith Thurman. You get what I'm saying? But that was rumored around that time.
But the difference, God, this is what the difference is in that. The difference is they was already in negotiations, and Terence Crawford walked away from those negotiations. So this is why I'm saying is this is why it's so different, because they was already in negotiations to fight. Terence Crawford blindsided the whole world, even you as a fan, even me as a fan. He blindsided everybody and went and fought David. I've been sneezing. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true, though.
That is absolutely true, bro. He
It's
blindsided.
not true, bro. It's
bro,
not
even,
true.
Even
I don't agree with that. That's your opinion, and I don't agree with that.
Okay,
if that's
but
what you want to say, I don't agree with that.
Terence Crawford himself said he blindsided everybody. Nobody knew about that fight. Stephen Espinoza said we was blindsided. Errol Spence said we was blindsided. Terence Crawford said, yeah, I didn't tell them about David Avenesian. He blindsided the whole world. You didn't know about David Avenesian, did you? You thought he was making a fight with Errol Spence until it just came out. He was fighting David Avenesian. He blindsided the whole boxing world. Nobody knew about that. So this is why it was important for him to say, I want Spence next. The negotiations didn't go right, but now, and I wanted to fight this year. Like, he got so many different excuses. I don't even know which one to go with. But after he fought David Avenesian, he was supposed to say, okay, Errol Spence, let's go back to the table and get it popping. He didn't say that. Because this one, the fight was real. The Danny Garcia stuff wasn't real. After Terence fought Sean Porter, it wasn't real. This was the only time the fight was real, and he did not do it. He didn't do it.
Okay, but after David Avenesian, the fight is not real because I'm already in another fight. How is the fight real if we're not in negotiations no more? I'm in another fight, and your schedule and this room. Wait, let me talk, bro.
My bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Let me say it. How is that when you rumored to have a fight scheduled with Keith Thurman? How was that?
Okay, my brother. If that's the let me ask that question.
And everybody say blindsided, which is weird. Y'all make so much excuses for Spence. When they was in negotiation with Errol Spence and Bud was in negotiation, they had a backup plan with Keith Thurman getting ready. Be the fallout guy, regardless. And he got interviews with Keith Thurman saying it. I'm working now. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for a reason. So when everybody with this notion that Bud blindsided everybody, it's false, bro. Because if you wanted to, you could have made a fight with Keith Thurman, like you guys had him already working out and getting ready for the backup fight.
Okay, let me answer that question real quick, and I want the brother Ricky or Marty to go. Let me answer that question. Your initial question. You said, why would he call Errol out if Errol was in a fight? Was going into a fight with Keith Thurman? Well, the reason why he should have did it in the ring, because what was it? A week later, he got on Twitter and said, Errol, I'm ready for you to spin the block. So your whole notion that he didn't call him out because Errol was in a fight with Keith Thurman, that goes out the window, because a week after his fight, or 2 weeks right after his fight, he got on Twitter and started calling Errol out again.
And the reason that is because on December 10th, was it December 10th, or was it the week after? Frank Martin had a fight.
Right.
And then he said out, and Errol Spence said out of his mouth that he's not gonna fight yet until April or whatever.
So why did Bud call him out? Why did Bud call him out?
Because now it's realistic, because I said I'm not coming back into the ring until April, May. You talking about you're not coming back into the ring?
No, bro.
It's more realistic now.
No, you got it twisted, God. Errol said at the Frank Martin fight, Errol said that he was gonna announce his fight 3 days after he got into the car accident. He said he was gonna announce the fight then. So that meant that he had a fight. So after the car accident, after the Frank Martin fight, that's when Terence Crawford came out, knowing that Errol Spence said he was about to announce a fight. He knew that the man was about to announce a fight, and he also knew that the man said he had to push it back for a car accident. And then after all that, Terence Crawford come out his mouth and call the man out, saying, "I'm ready for you to spin the block." So everything you said, you just shot yourself in the foot, bro. It was a boomerang. It was a boomerang. Bro, it was a boomerang.
You're not trying to understand the point. You're not understanding the point. You're not understanding the point. It's pure logic. It's pure logic. It's common sense, bro. You can't try to like make it
Motorsports.
twist it up and try to make it seem like it's not. Yeah, it's like it's simple.
Motorsports.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? This is man Jamar.
What's up,
Motorsports.
bro?
I wanted to give some perspective on what you said, because I see that the chat and I see that people might be lost in the sauce. So I want to give some perspective, and then I want to correct you on something, because there's something that I think you're missing, and I want to make sure that we all clear. Batman and Blackstick and Bruce, I see you in the back. Give me a second. I'm gonna have you guys join in. Just give me 1 second, okay? Motorsports, you said the reason why Crawford didn't fight Spence or call. Let me reframe that. The reason why Crawford didn't call out Spence in the ring is because why should he have to keep calling him out, right? And then you said
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, why would he have to? I'm asking you the question. I didn't say like,
yes,
why would he have to keep calling him out? I'm asking you why would he have to do that one? I didn't say why he have to keep calling him out. Like,
right,
because
right.
it's combat sports, you got to keep,
Right. So your point is he shouldn't have to keep doing it over and over, correct?
No, that's not my point. My point is why do we have to call him out at that point? Basically.
Okay, I got you. No problem. Let's move on to something else then. You said the reason why Spence and Crawford didn't go to a negotiation after his fight, or while he was about to fight David Ebenezer, was because he clicked off. Okay, cool. We're gonna let Batman and Blackstick and Bruce on.
Okay, let me
jump back on. I'm gonna have him.
Yeah.
I'll ask him the question again. Blackstick and Bruce, good to see you again, brother. I know you've been on the panel before. Peace. Hope all is well with you, brother. Batman, I don't think you've been on the panel before. This might be your first time.
We talked before.
Oh, we talked before?
Batman boxing. Yeah, it's Batman boxing. We up all night.
Glad to have you again. Batman,
yes,
what's your take on everything that's going on with Stephen Espinoza and what he said, and what's your take on it, brother?
Okay, I'm gonna speak on Stephen Espinoza and these great brothers that was talking. The issue that they had with their disagreement, both of the brothers who were just talking, they were stating facts, but chronologically, it was a difference. So this brother was saying that Errol Spence said he was going to do this, and Bud Crawford, and why did he say that? But chronologically, the stories weren't matching up. Listen, Errol Spence said from the beginning that he was going to do this, that, and then Bud. This man said, why didn't he call Bud Crawford out after he beat Danny Garcia? That wasn't his plan. He said he was going to do this, and then Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao obviously lost to Ugas, so he fought Ugas and then Crawford. He wasn't deviating from his plan. Now, Bud Crawford said, what I'm going to do is, what's your plan? Fight Pacquiao? Didn't happen. So what's your backup plan? So Bud Crawford got out of his contract, as we all know, and he waited. And he's waiting and waiting and waiting. Bud Crawford is not scared. He's just a bad businessman. So wait for Bud Crawford, wait for Errol Spence to do what he said he's gonna do, and now it's your turn. Now, when you got your contract that's 12 months ago and said this is what it is, and you got a revision and you revise it again, and you know what? Fine, I'm gonna fight this dude over here, and then you got a contract for 2023. Then where's that contract? Where's the contract that you got for 2023? You agreed to everything, right? But I want to fight in Dallas. Oh, I agree to everything, but I don't want to do this. So you didn't agree to everything. Errol Spence agreed to everything. You didn't agree to everything. If you agreed to everything, the fight would have been in Dallas. Stop it. Now, since Errol Spence agreed to everything and gave you all the concession that you wanted, Bud Crawford, where is your contract that you agreed to for 2023? Produce it and stop crying.
I got you. Blackstick and Bruce is showing you, and then we got my guy, Crown Jewel Boxing in the background. Crown Jewel, I'll let you on in 1 second. Let me get Blackstick and Bruce's take, and then I'll let you jump on the panel. Blackstick and Bruce, good to have you again, brother. What's your take on all of this? I mean, Blackstick and Bruce, you are from Omaha, Nebraska, the same city and state of Terence Crawford, and you're one of those fans who keep it real, even though you're from his city and state. What's your take on all this Stephen Espinoza stuff, man? What you got? What you got on this? Oh, hold on, Black. Hey, Black. You was on mute. You got to unmute yourself, Blackstick and Bruce.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go, loud and clear, brother.
Yeah. Just a small correction. I'm not from Omaha, Nebraska. I was born in Hastings, Nebraska, but then brought up in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay, I apologize for that.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I'm just saying that for all them butt kissing bad business Bud fans, man, because they think it's hate, but it's not. It's like my man in the red hat said this past Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, man. You know, there's too many red flags out here that's showing that Terence don't want it, because the same thing he showed last year. But also, man, the main thing I wanted to say was that to all these Terence fans out here is this: we all have heard Terence Duck Coward say in several different ways that fight is behind me. I don't need Spence. You know, he's been saying it time and time again that he don't want to fight Spence. He don't need Spence. The fight's behind me. I haven't heard Errol one time say that in the past. And I'm like, okay, do they pick up that clue, or do they even want to understand that clue? But to me, I don't think they even get it. I don't think they understand it. And then another thing was, even though even though Errol Spence has this mandatory with Keith Thurman is a mandatory. He's not a hand-picked PBC fighter. He was a mandatory. I forgot which belt was he was sanctioned by. Not himself. What belt was what title was making him the mandatory. I think it was WBA, but or WBC. But he's mandatory. He's not being hand-picked, because Errol said he's the fighter that Errol said he don't want to fight, and Terence is like, okay, still just wandering around from January to March, April, May. I mean, like, he keeps wandering around, and that's not showing any of these Terence fans that he's serious, because look how easy, what's his name, Ryan Garcia made it to fight Tank Davis. And this is what Errol meant right now. Everything we're going through, this is what Errol meant as an easy route. He made the fight with Porter in what, 3-4 months or less? It's probably done taken him like almost a year to make this fight. This is exactly what Errol meant when he said easier route. This right here, the time we're going through, all this time is getting away. This is what Errol meant, man. It's just, you know what? All I see is these Bud fans walking around with their eyes wide shut, and they only see and hearing what they want to see and hear. Because I mean, Terence is only fight. He's at the end of his career, and he just don't. I don't think he wants to fight Errol because he knows it's gonna jeopardize his career the way it has, you know, Mikey Garcia, Porter, and Brooke, and the rest of them. And so he's going on 35, 36 this year. So I honestly believe he doesn't want it. That's my you know, how I feel about it, what his actions are spelling out for me.
Got you. We have my guy Crown Jewel Boxing here. So all of you that what's going on, Crown? Let me give you a proper introduction, brother. For all of you who are just joining us live in living color here on the Roller Tape Podcast, we got some of the best panelists here. We got my guy Ricky Williams here, Master Khalid. We got Blackstick and Bruce, Batman Boxing, and yours truly, my guy, a man who understands the business, Crown Jewel Boxing. What's going on with you, Crown Jewel?
I'm good, my brother. Hey, listen, sorry I missed Tuesday night. I got out the gym a little late, so I didn't get to hop on and chop it up with you. So I missed you on Tuesday night. But you know where I stand on this topic. I logged on late. I hear y'all talking about Bud and Spence, and at the end of the day, I told y'all Bud don't fight. Yeah, everybody's optimistic about the fight being made, and when everybody's talking about June 17th, looks like we have a fight. What does Bud do? He goes on Twitter and says, well, it is April Fool's Day. There's misinformation out there all the time. I disagree with my man, Blackstick. I don't think it's that he wants to mess up his legacy. I don't think that's the problem. He's worried about his legacy. I just don't think he wants to get broke up. Because I think he knows he's at the end of the road anyway. 36 years old, as a little guy, he ain't going to be
just fight the man.
I don't think he wants to leave broken orbital bone, broken nose, ribs like the rest of Earl's opponents. So he'd rather go than if I continue to throw Earl's name out there while he's fighting bums. And, you know what I mean, trying to bring attention to him. You know what he reminds me of? Him and Devin Haney
You ready to go?
right now. Devin Haney and his dad keep yelling tank, but they fighting other people. And that's the same thing Terence Crawford is doing with Errol Spence. If I just keep saying this man's name, every time his name come up, mine will go up, and hopefully that'll make my star power grow. It isn't working for him. As you can see, he only did 13,000 hometown. His pay-per-view numbers were terrible. If I was him, I'd just stay away from it altogether because the public not buying it. You can see he's a duck. Like you said, every time it came close time for them to fight, it went from I agree to everything to yeah, but let me control how we're going to market the fight. They won't let me see the books. I don't need Errol Spence. I'm already a Hall of Famer. He got more excuses than a little bit. So I think he's a very talented fighter. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. But when it comes to Errol, he just don't want that smoke. I respect him more if he just say, look, I don't want the fight.
Yeah. And speaking of Terence Crawford fan, you wasn't here, Crown Jewel. Ricky was here. I think this was right before Ricky had jumped on. The guy J-Rock, he's here. He has some very interesting things to say to support Terence Crawford. I want to give him the opportunity to speak a little bit of his piece. Don't be too long with it, J-Rock, because I know we got these panelists that want to ask you some questions or make a comment, brother. But I'm glad to have you back on the panel. Speak your piece, J-Rock. Glad to have you tonight, brother. J-Rock, you there? J-Rock, are you there, J-Rock?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. We can hear you now, brother.
Yeah, how y'all doing, man?
We good. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Just wanted to say a couple things to y'all, man. First, let me ask y'all a question, though. How many excuses has Errol Spence made not to fight Terence Crawford? Can we run down the list, man, or
zero?
Or what?
Zero.
Huh?
Zero. Errol Spence
First,
said
it was what?
make the fights that were makeable, which was all the people within his promotional company, because he know those were easy to get. He's a businessman, so he knew if he went and got 3 titles and Terence only had 1, that would put him in a better negotiating position. He just handled his business. I got all the belts within my company. I got 3 out of the 4. I'm the bigger draw. I'm fighting in Cowboy Stadium in front of 50,000 people. Now Terence Crawford has to work on my terms. He just played chess. That's all he did. He didn't duck anybody. But he's been true to his word. He said, I'm going to get all the belts in PBC first, and then I'm coming to Terence. That's exactly what he did. Terence running around talking about he's a duck. First of all, the first time he could have had the fight, he re-signed with Bob Arum. Why would he re-sign with Bob Arum and there was not one top 10 rated welterweight over there for him to fight? Then he turned around 2 years later and said he was leaving Bob Arum because Bob couldn't get him the Earl's fight. You knew he couldn't get you the Earl fight before you re-signed. He never wanted the fight. He just reached the point where he was backed in a corner. He couldn't use Bob as an excuse no more. So he went ahead and left Bob. Then he double negotiated with BLK Prime and PBC and made a fight behind their back. And then he had y'all boy Blue Blood lie for him and say the fight was put together in a weekend. When people like me and you, Manager Marty, know the business side of boxing and know you can't get a promoter's license over a weekend. And you want to convince me that a brand new company just so happened to have a boxing promotion license in Nebraska where they have no fights?
And he took David Avenesian off a fight that he was scheduled to fight.
Yeah, with BLK Prime.
And killed an entire card for an entire event with other fighters and left them with bunny ears in their pockets.
Exactly.
Right? And also, my bad, brother. If you want to finish, my apologies. Go ahead.
It's all good. But I was just saying, he's the one that stepped away from the fight. He made all the excuses. He negotiated with BLK Prime in bad faith. And when all the educated people on YouTube, like myself and you guys who know you can't put together a fight in the weekend like Blue Blood was lying and saying he did, then he came out and said, okay, yeah, y'all right. I've been negotiating with them since June or July, but I just didn't want to wait till next year. So the last thing he said, if you're saying he's not a duck, he said, I agreed to everything. The only problem is the fight was going to have to happen next year, and I didn't want to fight next year. I wanted to fight in December. Okay, so you got your December fight against David Avenesian. if you already agreed to everything, why are you asking to go back to negotiations? There is no negotiations. You agreed to everything. You got your tune-up fight. Sign the contract. Of course, he ain't gonna do that because he don't want that smoke.
Hold on, J Rock, real quick. Hold on, J Rock.
Well said.
Let Ricky get his piece in, and then J Rock, you after Ricky. It's on you, Rick.
And to add insult to injury on this, an excuse, me telling you what's gonna happen is not an excuse, my friend. Right? I'm telling you what's gonna happen. He told everybody, look, and it's no different than anybody else. Ask me the questions. Why did shout out to Devin Haney. Why did Devin Haney have to go to Top Rank? Why did he have to eat a boo-boo sandwich when he went to Top Rank? Because he had no leverage. Right? But we commend Devin Haney on the shorts he took to get what he wanted, right? But y'all keep saying Bud won't undispute it, but he don't have to eat no shit sandwich to do so, right? So again, y'all want the business of boxing to be the same for everybody, for every B-side that ever existed but Bud Crawford. 2, like I was saying, to get back to my first point, he told everybody exactly what was going to happen. I'm going to make all the easy fights. The same way it's easy for Keyshawn Davis to fight fighters in his weight class at Top Rank. The same way it's easier for Shakur Stevenson to fight fighters that's at Top Rank. He told y'all, I'm gonna come get these belts, and when I get these 3, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there to see. How is that a duck? That's me telling you, hey, you on the menu? You just the main course, baby. You just the main course. And then when Errol Spence came with fork and knife in hand, yo boy closed the restaurant.
Tuck that tail.
Because no matter what y'all say, at the end of the day, the B side does what the A side requires. Let me point out a couple of instances. David Benavidez's father was complaining about the ring size after you signed the contract. So what? You complain after you sign the contract. Get that ass in the ring. Let me get you in the ring, and then I'll say my gripes and what I feel, I believe that you shorten me, because it don't matter, because I'm going to beat your ass anyway. Ryan Garcia signed the contract, then comes out and had an internet ablaze, even though y'all don't know nothing about weight, right? Oh, yeah, I signed everything because I wanted to fight with Tank. But yeah, he's weight draining, but he signed that contract, didn't he? Funny how Bud gave us all the information and all the excuses without no paperwork.
Did you hear what I said?
J-Rock, you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here, man. And I ain't going to be too long, man. I'm good. All right. I'm good, man. And I ain't going to be too long, man. I'm going to just shut y'all down right quick. And I'm out, brother. And I'm going to let somebody else speak. You know what I mean? My man that just finished talking right here, did you just compare Devin Haney to Bud? You know what I'm saying? That sounds crazy to me, man.
Don't just slow down, bro. Let me correct you. Again, this is because your mind is having dysfunction.
Hold on.
You hold on. I got you. I'm gonna let you say everything you want to say. I just want to correct your point, right? I'm not comparing them in fight status. We can't. If you believe Bud's gonna win, fine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about in business.
The business practice, absolutely. Same playbook.
They have the same leverage. Devin Haney's a name, but he's not a draw. Bud Crawford's a name, but he's not a draw. Right?
Gotcha.
Devin Haney has all the talent on the planet, but he had to concede the Top Rank to get the fights he wanted. That's what Bud has to do. Does Bud want the fight? That's the question.
Nah, the question is, do Errol Spence want to fight? And I'm gonna tell you why. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all that, man. We understand Errol Spence the A side, bro. Ain't nobody disputing that. But what I'm saying is, okay, make the man a respectable offer, though, man. You know what I mean? Like I said the last time I was up here. And matter of fact, Andre Ward explained it real good on the interview he had on Fight Hype a couple months back when he said, man, they treating Bud like he's nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? with the offer that they throwing out.
You know, Earl
That's all
didn't
we
have a
saying.
guarantee either, right?
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Let me get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, they treat my man like he's chopped liver out here. You know what I'm saying? We understand Errol Spence. He the pay-per-view man right now. He's the more successful of the two fighters as far as pay-per-view sales and, you know what I'm saying, sales overall. We give y'all that. But, you know, the offer that PBC throwing out there is crazy, bro.
I thought he agreed
like I said
to it.
last time.
Then
I thought
why
he
did
agreed
he say
to
he
it, though.
agreed to the offer if it was
I thought he agreed to it, though.
he agreed?
Yeah, he also said that because he wanted to fight, bro.
Then
Because he
why
want to prove.
Then why we ain't got
He
no
want
fight?
to prove. Hold on, why y'all cut me off, man? I ain't cut nobody off.
Yeah, one mic.
Go with me right quick.
One mic.
Yeah,
Go ahead, J Rock. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is just make a respectable offer, man. You want to fight. Everybody want to see this fight. And they treat my man like he's nothing. So, yeah. We know who really wanted to fight, man. That's all I can say. And another thing, I just wanted to go over the excuses right quick and I'm out. I'm going to let somebody else come over here and talk that nonsense.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
J Rock, before you leave, can I ask you, J Rock, this is Manager Marty. Yeah. When you're done your point, can I ask you a question? I'm gonna let you finish your point, but I want to ask you a question though when you're done. That's cool before you leave, right?
Yeah. No problem.
All right, go ahead. All right, I got you. Go ahead, bro.
But let's walk down the list of excuses Errol Spence made not to fight Terence Crawford, right? When he was at 140, he was talking about climbing up the ladder to 147. He was talking about fighting Errol Spence then. He was like, man, Errol Spence said, get a belt first, right? He got the belt. Then it was what? My man on the other side of the street, right? He on the wrong side of the street. After he, you know what I'm saying, cut ties with Top Rank and all that, then what? Here come the low ball offer, man. We know who really wanted to fight, bro. And if y'all don't see who don't want to fight, y'all delusional, man. We know who wanted to fight and who don't want to fight, bro. And listen, and like I said last time, don't feel bad, man. He ain't the only man that's running from Bud Crawford out here.
Exactly.
Boots Ennis ran, Virgil Ortiz ran. The list goes on and on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Danny,
so I'm just trying to figure out what are y'all looking at.
Okay.
But yeah,
cool.
Now, go ahead, man, Jamal.
All right, let me ask you a question. You used the two words respectable offer. In your opinion, what's a respectable offer that Terence Crawford should have received?
Like I told you last time, if they ain't want to go 50-50, you know what I mean? Go 55-45, bro. You know what I mean? That's to make the man a respectable offer. Like I said, you got well-respected boxers out here. Andre Ward. He did an interview stating just what I'm saying right now a couple months ago, man. They treated Bud like some trash. And I wouldn't take the fight if I was him either, if they offered me that. You know what I'm saying? Just like you seem like a challenger guy, man. I don't know what you do, you know what I'm saying, professionally or whatever. But
I'm a boxing manager, you know that.
Okay. Right. So listen. Man. You at the height of your profession, bro. And say if a client come to you and they want you to manage them. But you feel like the offer is a low ball, right? You ain't about to manage no ball for free, right?
He agreed to it.
Huh? We get that though. We get that, son. He agreed. We get that. But what I'm saying, he want to fight because he know your man can't beat him. You see what I'm saying? So, Manager Marty, if somebody low ball you feel as though, you know what I'm saying, you at the top of your game or whatever. Are you going to accept that offer?
Am I going to accept what offer? Which one? 35% or the guarantee?
Yeah, 35%. Yeah. You want to accept that?
35%. Yeah, I would accept it. And I'm gonna tell you why real quick. I would accept it because the A side has the network The A side, Spence, that is, sells 250,000 more pay-per-views than I do. The A side sells in a venue that holds about 30 to 40,000 more than I do. And on top of that, and on top of all of that, I know I can beat him. You see, that's the part that y'all keep forgetting. You keep saying that Terence Crawford can beat Spence, right? So it shouldn't matter because if he can beat him, he'll take it. Just like when Mayweather had to take 35% when he fought De La Hoya. Just like Ryan Garcia got to take his cut fighting Tank. This is just business practices that we are all standardly accustomed to. So with that being said, I know I can beat him. I'm going to take the 40% or the 35%, beat him, give him the rematch, and then I'll get the 60% or 70% the next go round. It's just business practices that's standard, J-Rock.
But you got, but Marty.
I respect
Marty.
Who is
Hold on, bro.
Like,
can I make one more point, then I'm out?
All right, go ahead.
Hey, yeah. I respect your answer, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Most people ain't gonna accept it.
Come on, hey, J-Rock. You stonewalling, bro. You respect my answer. Why is there a rebuttal, bro?
No, I'm gonna say that, but I'm saying most people ain't gonna accept that offer, man. He accepted it, you know what I'm saying, because he wanted to fight. But let me throw this last thing out here, and then I'm done.
All right, go ahead.
Man, another barrier they threw at my man that proved they don't want to fight, and I'm gonna tell you this. In the contract or whatever it said that if Terence Crawford was the one to fight the rematch, he would be the B-side. I've never heard that a day in my life, bro.
Devin Haney and Cambosis. Devin Haney and Cambosis.
Hold on.
I've never seen this in my life. Huh?
Devin Haney and Cambosis.
Oh, one mic. Let me regulate this. J-Rock, hold on. Where did you get that information from, brother? That's in the contract.
It was documented. It was documented when it, you know what I'm saying, the terms of the contract and all that came up. I heard that he was
Give me the source so we can look it up. My man Ricky gonna look it up real quick. Give me the source.
I'm not sure, man, exactly what source it is.
Come on, bro.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but he's out there.
All right, cool. I got you.
Hey, Manager Marty.
Who does that, bro?
Okay.
Hey, real quick, Manager Marty. Did we forget that Errol Spence told Terence Crawford he can walk out last as the A side? He even made that concession. Did you forget that? He made all the concessions to this man. He said you can even walk out last as the A side. Did you forget that? Errol Spence made all the because Terence Crawford I want to walk out last. Errol Spence said, okay, you can walk out last as the A side. He even made that concession. Am I lying?
Yo.
Hey man, y'all have a good night, man. Yeah,
y'all. You could walk out of the A side. I mean, the money you ain't gonna be the A side when they get that pocketbook.
Hey man, y'all be blessed, man. I'm gonna come back up here another time, man.
I appreciate your time, J-Rock, and J-Rock, thank you for being honest. At least you was honest enough to say you didn't know the source, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother.
Ain't no problem, man. And y'all have a good one, bro.
You do the same, brother. All right, now that he's gone, band up. Hey, Motorsports back. Hey, Motorsports. I asked you a question, Motorsports. Yeah. You ran up out of here, bro.
I ain't hear it.
Huh?
I ain't hear it, brother. I ain't hear it.
All right, say no more. I got you. Before I do that, I want to give my guy Ricky his last words. He got to go. I don't want to hold him up. Ricky, come on, brother. What you got on this real quick, bro?
Hey, first and foremost, Motorsports, where you get that hoodie from, bro? Let me know. I need one of them. Right. And to the answer to the brother's questions before he left, right? There's been plenty of fights where fighters they went into and walked away with no money, right? The truth of the matter is Andre Ward versus Kovalev 2. Kovalev walked away with damn near no money in that fight, right? It happens all the time. It's just, again, y'all supposed to know boxing. Y'all just don't look at it, right? But y'all talk about the percentage. What's 35% of $100 million?
Dang.
35 million.
Yeah.
35 million.
35
right?
million.
If we're talking
So,
a million, 30.
so by the logic, Bud fans say, shout out to people in the chat. You know, Bud name pop, right? Bud, it's the reason why manager Marty keep putting Spence Crawford in his titles, right? Because people love Bud. They want to see Bud. So it's guaranteed to sell as a fight, correct? So what's 35? Because Errol wasn't getting a guarantee either, correct? Or am I missing something? So what's 35? So again, this all falls into what y'all believe Bud is. If Bud is the fighter y'all say he is, as y'all say he put ass in seats, and that he's a draw, and that he's pound for pound, then 100 million is nothing to make for a fight this huge, correct?
Did you hear what I said?
or am I fishing? Or am I fishing not where the big fish at, but catfish? Am I fishing?
All right, to that notion, I got something to say to that notion.
Give me a second, bro. Give me a second, bro. Give me a second, bro. No, bro. Slow down, bro. I take pauses when I talk, and I'll explain why. When I was little, I used to stutter, so I stopped so I can catch my thoughts. Right. So, what I'm saying is, bro, listen to what I'm saying, my guys. Bud's a bad man. He can whoop Godzilla and King Kong in the same night. You feel me? No water, no rest. But that ain't got nothing to do with that man not signing a contract. Y'all talking about what he can do in the ring. No, and look, we seen Bud. I gotta give Bud his props because you can be the better man on any night. This is boxing, right? But it don't matter until we see it, bruh. And unfortunately, the very thing y'all want y'all man to prove he won't do for y'all. The stage was set. The pens was at the table. The paper was there. All he had to do was ink it. And if he agreed to it, he did. He wanted to fight in December. He got his tune-up, right? Why didn't he just say, you know what? I wanted a tune-up fight. Why did all them excuses come out before he fought David Avenesian? These are just questions I ask, right? And if the agreement was agreed to, I agreed to everything, him and his man, then why don't we have a fight scheduled? Why the rigmarole? Why is it so hard to make a fight that supposedly he wants and Errol Spence wants? Why are we always getting bad information for people that Bud Crawford was associated with and not the people who's actually hosting and making the fight? Believe what you want to believe. I say it again before I get out of here. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I said it Tuesday, Manager Marty. I say it again. This is a Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis moment. And what people gonna look at down the line is the fight didn't happen between two guys as close as they prime as it could have been. And no matter what y'all say, real boxing fans, and y'all say y'all real boxing fans, gonna question why did this fight didn't get made and this man could have been legendary in the sport. 2-time undisputed. 2-time. That's something no fighter could ever take away from him. Y'all say Bud got an ego, right? It's his ego and his pride, correct? I'm just using what y'all tell me. What can give a man more ego than saying I was undisputed 2 times? The only man that done it in the history of boxing. But I digress. Manager Marty, you know what it is. Roller tape gang in the building. To all my fellas, at the end of the day, we all love this boxing. We love seeing people get hit in the face. Your favorite fighter is your favorite fighter. Do your thing. It's me, Ricky Williams, TWT. If y'all want to subscribe, hit me up. Y'all have a great weekend. But first and foremost, be safe out there, my guys. Keep y'all head on a swivel, my nizzle. Y'all be easy, bro.
Easy, bro.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for joining the panel, Ricky Williams. Y'all go subscribe to my guy, Ricky Williams, TWT. And speaking of TW, I got my brother. Oh, let me. I got to acknowledge my brother first. Hold on. My brother TW, Timothy Wilson, is here. I didn't know my brother was here. I got to stop the whole show for him. My brother is here. Salute to Timothy Wilson. Thank you, brother. I got your money coming to you, brother. Let me pay off what I got to do, brother, and I got you. Now let me get that straight. Now I got 2 super chats. I wanted to get that off, but I got to let my brother. I got to let my brother. Speak his piece in the chat. All right, now I got 2 super chats. Let me get this out the way. Manny Face Publishing. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. You always contribute to the channel, so I want to salute you and thank you again. Many Face Publishing says, remember I mentioned the other day, Bud got to believe in himself like Haney did and Mayweather did. He should have took the risk. That was from Many Face Publishing. Then I got my guy who's making another contribution tonight. My guy, Mr. AMG, thank you for your contribution and your support, AMG. He says, like Ricky Williams said, did Devin Haney get a respectable offer? And speaking of Devin Haney, let me say this because J-Rock left. I was going to ask him this, but Devin Haney, he actually got a rematch with Kambosos, and he was the B-side again, even though he beat Kambosos the first time, because he was on Top Rank, a promotion company that basically secured all the fights for Kambosos, and he was fighting in Kambosos' hometown in his country of Australia. So I wanted to put that out there, that it happens when you win and you get a rematch, depending on who generates the most revenue, that determines A side and B side. Band up, you've been ready. I see you with your gloves on, band up. You ready to go in, band up. You got the mic, brother.
Yeah.
Speak on it. Thanks for coming up, brother.
Yeah, I got a few things to say. I feel like Bud is in a lose-lose kind of predicament. A little bit. Now hear me when I say that. My man said he wanted to fight last year, right? In December, right? The whole time, people kept getting on Bud about Bud being out for too long. Bud not fight, you know what I mean? Bud's slow to get his fights while EJ still fighting, right? Okay, so my man wanted to stay fresh. Okay, you guys call it a tune-up. He could have, you know what I mean? I got a little thing about that. I feel like he could have went with Boots. You know what I mean? I'm with you guys on that side. You know what I mean? I feel like he could have went for Boots instead of, David Avanesian, just to show, because you know what I mean? I want to see it. You know what I mean? I'm with you guys on that. I want to see that. You know what I mean? So I feel like with that, too, I feel like everybody's sleeping on the fact that EJ is from Dallas, right? Or whatever the case may be. He from Dallas, right? He fight out of Dallas, but it's from Omaha. How small is Omaha compared to Dallas? If that man was in California, if that man was in New York, if that man was somewhere else other than Omaha, because he's the only thing ringing out there. So if he was in California, you guys don't think he would have generated more revenue? Because California rappers, California media would have been behind him. New York media would have been behind him. A little bit more than what, you know what I mean? Oh, we got this dude, we got a boxer coming up. Now he's a 3-division champion. You got Dallas, you know what I mean? You got you got the stadium, you know what I mean? You got the stadium, you can sell out that. That's a lot of seats compared to Nebraska. Terence Crawford sold out the seats. You know what I mean? I know you guys talk about the pay-per-view. He didn't get a lot of pay, but he sold out Nebraska when he fought Avanesian. He sold out that with a bum. Did you guys say? He did it with a bum. So he could sell out, in my opinion, if he was from a different place. Another thing I want to say, it never said on any shirt, Keith Thurman. It never said on any shirt, Keith Thurman. We hearing it now within these last couple of weeks that Keith Thurman is the backside. But I remember a couple, like I want to say a month ago, I went toe to toe with Monty Brown, and I was asking him, you know what I mean? Where did it say Keith Thurman? And he was like, well, Bud got to wait his opportunity because he ran from, you know what I mean? He ducked EJ, you know what I mean? Took Avanesian. Now Bud might have to wait. Okay, that's the renegotiation I'm kind of hearing. If that's said to be true, that's the renegotiation I'm hearing. And I swear, Derek James said the old price ain't the new price. So if the old price ain't the new price, don't they got to renegotiate to figure out what Bud price is? Or am I missing something? I could be missing something. Now, another thing, I'm not a historian. I'm kind of new to the sport within the last 5 years. I'm not a historian, so you know what I mean. Let me know if I'm missing something. My ears are open more than my mouth.
I appreciate your perspective, band up. You are missing something, brother. And I'm gonna tell you, you missing a few things. I want to be able to, because you said you're new, so I want to educate you. This podcast, and most people know this already, is about education and entertainment. Let me give some education out. You said if Bud Crawford was from another city and state, that don't have nothing to do with nobody on the panel. That don't have nothing to do with Spence. He a grown man. If he want to stay in Nebraska, that's his business. The bottom line is, if you take him somewhere else, we don't know if he'll be able to sell. But I will tell you, the only reference I can use is two references on that. Number one, Bud Crawford, and Bob Errol said this, he don't talk to the media. He only talks to the media and promote himself when he has an actual fight. When he has no fight, he's a mouse. You can't hear or see Terence Bud Crawford. He's nowhere to be found. Number two, which is more important, his pay-per-view numbers speak for themselves. So it don't matter if you live in Nebraska. It don't matter if you live in Texas. It don't matter if you live in Australia. If you can't sell on pay-per-view, that's the bottom line when it comes down to fighting another pay-per-view star, another pay-per-view fighter. Look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia never fought on a pay-per-view. But Ryan Garcia, he be having that phone in his hand. He be promoting himself on social media. He created his own little following through media. Terence Bud Crawford don't do that. So that's where he's hurting his own stock. And speaking of pay-per-view numbers, band up, I've been asking for almost 80 days, and hopefully you can help me out. You are Motorsports TV. What are the pay-per-view numbers that Terence Bud Crawford did with David Evanesian on BLK Prime?
I'm not 100% for sure on that. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
I appreciate that, because neither are none of us on the panel, my brother. Neither is none of us in the chat, my brother.
And Manager Marty, somebody, what's it called? Somebody, man, 1 second. I'm about to leave out and then jump back in. Somebody called me, and now the volume's coming through my head. I'm gonna come right back in.
All right, go ahead. Okay, cool. The thing about it is this: we don't know those pay-per-view numbers, and because we don't know them, Terence Crawford can't even use them in this negotiation, because apparently they didn't do as well as people projected them to do. Because my man Rondo, let me put this up there because I don't have evidence of this, but I'm going to look at what Rondo said in the chat, and he said it. He said 5K. Y'all see it on your screen? Rondo said he did 5,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't know if he's joking. I'm not sure if he just. I don't know, Rondo. I don't know if Rondo joking or not. But my point is that he could have used those pay-per-view numbers if he did well over at BLK Prime in his last fight. He could have used those numbers and said, look, Spence, look, Al Heyman, look, Showtime, look at my last pay-per-view numbers, since that's one of the things that y'all reference when we talk about lowballing me and 35% and all of these different things. But because he don't have good pay-per-view numbers, whatever the numbers are, he can't even use them as leverage. So the thing is that Terence Bud Crawford keeps saying on Twitter, keeps saying behind the camera that he wants Spence, but when it's time to do what's supposed to be done, and that's sign the contract, he still haven't done it yet. And that's the issue. And you don't have to take my word for it. All of us heard Stephen Espinoza say, we're all still talking. We're working hard to get the deal done. There are issues to overcome. The negotiations are ongoing. 99% of the rumors are wrong. There is no date set, and we have to finish the deal first and then set the date. Why are we going through all of these things over and over again for nearly a year since they sent Al Heyman, by Terence Bud Crawford's admission, they sent him a proposal in May of 2022, literally nearly 30 days after Spence fought Ugas. He agreed to those terms. He gave them the impression that he agreed to the terms. That's why they sent him a contract in August. But the following month, in June, he was fraternizing with BLK Prime secretly and didn't tell anybody. And then next thing you know, 3 months later, he announces that he's fighting David Ebenezer, and here we are, still back to square one. I keep telling y'all this, and I keep saying it over and over on this channel. I'm in the business of boxing. I've been doing this for years. And from my experiences, when two fighters want to fight, they fight. But when two fighters or one of the two fighters don't want to fight, they don't fight. It's just very, very simple. Who else we got back here?
Quick question, Manager Marty.
Go ahead, Blaxican.
This is just for all the again Terence Crawford fans tuning in. Here's one thing I want to know from your boy Bud is this is what it appears. I didn't say this is facts or truth. This is what it appears as though his mindset is. One thing is he does not want any more. Terence does not want any more 3-fight deals. That's what it appears as though he does not want any more 3-fight deals because BLK Prime gave him that 1-fight deal. That's one thing that it appears as though from his actions. Another thing I believe Terence thinks is if he says he made 10 million and I got 5 million before and I got 5 million after, if he says that, then I'm thinking that he believes he can feed that to Showtime and feed that to Al Heyman, who are experts and pros at promoting fights and putting on fights, that they'll buy into it. That he deserves more than what their first offer was. And then the other thing is, I'm not sure what makes him feel, believe, or think that this is just going by his actions, that he can be a Floyd Mayweather or Canelo Alvarez and turn a BLK Prime into what's that group that Alvarez is with? D-Town, is it with? Yeah, the Zone. He believes he could turn a BLK into the Zone. Those are the three, and that's just by him jumping off everywhere. And then again, all Terence Crawford fans and followers, look at the track records. Go look at the pictures. They're out there. Those are not fake. Go look at him and Mayweather Promotions. Give me a deal. Oh, okay. You won't give me a deal? Go look at his picture with Jay-Z, Rock Nation, who promoted Kodo. You won't give me no one fight deal? Fine. I'm gonna go to 50 Cent. 50 Cent used to promote again Gamboa, who he done beat. But 50 Cent would give because his business was going down here anyway. So he wouldn't give him no deal unless it was a 3-fight deal. Then he went to De La Hoya and Hopkins. They would give him no 1-fight deal because it's, if I'm not mistaken, when you come to a promotional company, you have to do 3 fights or more according to deal. Even Mayweather had to do a 4 or 6 deal with Showtime. Because that was after he left HBO, even though Showtime's not a promotional company, it's still its own business. And it's like that. And also, one last thing for the Terence Crawford fans, he keeps saying he's his own boss. This is, again, been an amateur fighter before, never went pro, but sticking to the game since the 80s, early 80s. You're not your own boss until you can sign your check and sign your opponent's check. That's when you're your own boss. I don't care if you got advisors or whatever. If you have your own, even if you have your own promotional company, your promotional company has to be doing good enough business good enough to be able to write checks for yourself and write checks for your opponent. And those are just some educational factors. I think y'all butt kissing, bad business, Terence Crawfish, Coward should take in consideration.
Very well said. Let me get this super chat real quick, and I want to comment on what you said.
Go ahead.
Mr. AMG, thank you for your contribution again. He says, seems like Bud fans don't want him to prove himself. Very well stated, Mr. AMG. Well, here's the thing about the 3-fight deal. You said you believe that Terence Crawford just don't want to sign a 3-fight deal. He just want to do just 1 fight. The issue I have with that is you don't want to find Crawford don't want to sign a 3-fight deal. But yet he called out, according to Crawford fans, he called out 3 fighters over at PBC. Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, right? And he called out Pacquiao when Pacquiao was over at PBC.
And Jamel.
And I was about to say, now that Pacquiao's gone, now he's calling out Jamel Charlo. So there's the 3 fights there. So why not sign a 3-fight deal if the 3 fights that you want to compete in are against the 3 guys that's represented by the same network and represented by the same management. So what that tells me is you don't want to fight those three guys. You're just saying that because it reminds me of, and all of us men, we have women in the chat. We have women watching us live and living color that's not in the chat, but they still watching the Man of Jamarty podcast, and we appreciate their viewership. But I want to make sure that I condense this so we all can understand. I have looked at my demographics and my analytics, and I'm telling you all like this. We are all adults. My demographic service, everybody between, I'm talking about the big numbers I get from viewership, from the age of 35 to 65. I got some 18 to 24-year-olds, very small, limited viewership. I got some 25 to 30, very limited viewership. But the 35 to 65-year-old crew give me a lot of viewership. So I said all that to say as a precursor to this. Everybody will understand what I'm saying because we all grown around here. It's like dating a woman. You take her to the best restaurant. You pay for her food. She even get a doggy bag so she can heat it up and take it to work for lunch the next day. And she tell you, when we get home, I got something for you. Then y'all get home. She say, my hair done sweated out. I ain't doing nothing. Then you take her to the sports game. Ringside seats at the boxing game. Floor seats at the basketball game. She say, when we get home, I got something for you. You get home, she hit you with the famous line, I'm cramping. You fall back, no problem. You buy her a big, nice purse, a designer fashion purse. She say, oh man, when I come over, I got something for you. And then as soon as you get over there, she say, I worked all day. I did laundry all day. I cooked all day. I'm tired. And I got a headache. At some point, that man going to say, you know what? I done did everything I said I was going to do for this woman. I done gave her the Birkin bag, the Gucci bag, took her to the Los Angeles Lakers game on the
Louis
floor.
never feel, not a Birkin. A Louis never feel.
Okay, so Louis is cool too. Gucci cool too. I done took her to the Lakers game. She done saw LeBron James on the floor. Took her to the Tank fight. Spent $10,000 on the fight to see us fight live at Madison Square Garden, at the Barclays Center. I done took this girl all over. And every time it's time for her to reciprocate, she don't keep her word and her end of the bargain. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save a whole bunch of money on my car insurance and leave this girl alone. And that's exactly what I see Terence Bud Crawford doing. We got to keep it all the way real. Terence Bud Crawford keep misleading everybody. He misled Al Heyman and them. We already know he did that. He turned around and did business with BLK Prime and went with somebody else. He done reaped all the benefits of seeing all the things that PBC was going to offer him in the proposal. All the benefits that he was going to reap in the contract. And it still was never good enough. Just like the girl. She done reaped all the benefits, but it still wasn't good enough for her to keep her end of the bargain. So you know what Spence going to have to do if this fight don't happen this summer? Him, Al Heyman, and Stephen Espinoza. They're going to have to just tuck it all in, fall back, and just move on. Because the guy is showing us through his actions, Terence Bud Crawford that is, he do not want to fight Spence. That's just a fact. I don't care who's a Crawford fan that come up in here and challenge anything that happened in 2018, 2019, 2020, before and after the pandemic, 2022 last year. It does not matter because he was offered a proposal in May by his own admission. He was offered a contract in August by his own admission. And he was offered a revised contract with a percentage of 35% on October the 6th. And he still did not sign it. In other words, is nothing that they could do on their side is good enough to get nothing from Crawford. And that's the bottom line. If Spence had 3 belts and he was David Ebenezer, he'd have took that fight in a heartbeat. He'd have signed on the dotted line in a heartbeat. You want to know why? because he believed that he can beat Ebenezer. He was so accustomed to fighting C-level opponents. But now he's in there with the big fish. And apparently he's not confident that he can beat the guy. That's just a fact. There's no way. I've been in this business for a few years now, and when I hear people say issues to overcome, negotiations are ongoing, we're still trying to finish the deal, we're working hard to get it done, and we're all still talking. After a year of exposing this man to the details of a proposal in the contract, what that tells me is this guy do not want to fight.
Nope.
It's very, very simple.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead, Blacks.
This is again a rumor. This is not truth. This is not fact. This is a rumor because this is just what I heard, and I don't know the whole story behind it. So it is somewhat of a rumor. It was an audio only. It was only an audio, and when you go to Google, a bunch of other ads start to pop up, and they start to pop up on the side or pop up under your the Google search. Well, that's where I clicked, and there was an audio of I forgot the reporter, but they said one. I think it was either it was Errol's trainer or Errol's father. It was one of the two. They said Errol and Terence they once sparred as amateurs, and that's what he still remembers. Again,
it's the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah, no, it's a small. I can't even find the audio anymore. It was just one of those days where you're browsing through YouTube, you're browsing through Google, and it happens to just pop up because it tracks your cookie. And it was an audio only, and I cannot remember if it was Errol's trainer or Errol's father that said that. It was one of them that said that they sparred as amateurs. Not when neither one had been professionals yet. They sparred like when one was going for the nationals or whatever they were going for. And that's what I believe Terence still holds on to. Like I said, people don't think that when Danny Garcia split wins with him as amateurs, they don't think that stays in his mind. It does. People don't think that him losing to Ugas as an amateur twice stays in the back of his mind. It stays in his mind. I don't care who you are. I mean, even when the great Riddick Bowe, lost to Lewis, he still remembered it in the back of his mind. Even though I will say, I'll be honest. I think Rock Newman told Bowe to do it just to promote the fight so they could have their own Ali Frazier battle. But that's why I think he really threw the belt away. But that's irrelevant right now. When I say that was just a leaked audio, but I can't find the audio no more because I didn't see what the title of it was. I just clicked on it because I saw the names on it. And when you look at the actions, you can almost see what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, I never heard the audio. Let me get this super chat here from my guy Omega Red. Always supporting the channel. Thank you, Omega Red, for your contribution. Omega Red says Bud's plan is to stall and get fans to blame everyone involved. That way, he don't get all the blame for ducking, and Errol gets blamed in the process. Puppet master to simple-minded people. Puppet master to simple-minded people. Very well stated by Omega Red. Master Khalik, what's your take on all this that, you heard what Blackstick and Bruce said, you heard what I said about the reference of a woman stringing a man along and still don't never do nothing and get nothing for him. What's your take on all this, Master Khalik?
Well, everybody got their I agree with you guys. Everybody got their own analysis of what's going on. I like to keep it simple. Terence Crawford is jealous. He's a hater. He don't believe that Errol Spence can win. And I'm going to give you some examples of how I know that Terence Crawford is a hater. Terence Crawford said, I'm more accomplished than him. I did more in my career than he ever did in his little career. Terence Crawford said, if it's 60-40, it should be in my favor. He got multiple examples of proving that he's a hater of Errol Spence. He think that he should be a bigger star than Errol Spence. He really believed that, which he should, because he's more accomplished as far as, titles. Resume, no. And I would like to ask the Terence Crawford fans, who is the fighter that he beat that makes him the best fighter in the world? Name the fighter he beat. Name him. What makes him the best fighter in the world? That's
I'll
what I
play
want to push.
devil's advocate. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm gonna say Jeff Horn, man, because he had a belt, he was undefeated, and he beat Pacquiao.
Okay, yeah. Well, that would make Errol Spence the best fighter in the world because he beat the shit out of Ugas that beat the shit out of
Pacquiao.
And it wasn't even an argument. Ugas beat the shit out of Pacquiao.
Yeah.
With Jeff Horn, Pacquiao got robbed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jeff Horn left out, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Jeff Horn leave out the ring in a stretcher after the
I couldn't remember that part. He probably did, but you know.
After the Manny Pacquiao fight, I believe Jeff Horn left out in a stretcher. He was beat the hell up.
He may have.
Yeah, so if you use that, okay, all right, Jeff Horn makes him the best fighter in the world. Okay. But yeah, so Terence Crawford, I'm gonna keep it simple. He's jealous as hell of Errol Smith. It's clear as day. The man, it's clear that the man don't want to fight Errol Spence. They asked him in Nebraska, like Manager Marty keep bringing up. And then the brother was trying to say, why call him out? And I keep saying the reason to call him out is because the fight was in negotiations and he walked away. Okay, so it was that was his moment to prove that he wanted Errol Spence. That was the only time to prove it. He was supposed to say, yes, Errol Spence, let's go. But what did he do? A week or 2 weeks later, when he knew that Errol Spence was supposed to announce another fight, when he knew that Errol Spence had just been in the car accident, what did he say? Errol, I'm ready for you to spin the block. Like that was the weakest shit I've ever seen.
Let me make one correction before these butt kissing Terence Crawford fans try to come at you. He didn't know when he was in the ring before he left the ring. I don't think he knew Errol had been in the car accident. He didn't know until the conference after that he know.
And that's the point that I'm making, because he didn't actually call him out until weeks later. After he knew that he'd been in a car accident, after he knew that Errol Spence said, I got to push my fight back, after he knew all of that, then he called him out.
Yep.
You know, like how people don't see this is mind-boggling to me, because the man didn't call him out till after that, right?
Yeah,
so,
and that's go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll say that's almost a Sugar Ray Leonard move. And I say a Sugar Ray Leonard move because Sugar Ray Leonard stayed away from Marvin Hagler until he saw John the Beast Mugabe. He saw it ringside. He saw that John the Beast Mugabe was outgunning Hagler, and then he invited Hagler to a bar and gave him some drinks until Hagler says, "I'm thinking," like Sean Porter was, "I'm thinking and considering retiring." And then he sees vulnerability.
Yeah.
So then he wants to make his move, and that's the same thing that Terence did. He didn't know if Terence was hurt as bad or what when he was still in the ring, and he didn't even know how bad he was hurt until he probably still don't to this day, because none of us do. But after he got in the car accident, he's like, "Oh, okay, I think I sense vulnerability. So let me try and and do this in front of the public's eyes. Let me do something to show the public's eyes some character, to buy him in my favor." I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. This is for any and everybody. Which this ain't being no hater. This is just the only way to get things done. Is if you're not going to give the public what they want, my thing is for the public, fans, haters, whomever, don't even go to his fights. You don't even buy his fights.
Yeah.
Until he gives you what you want, because you the one putting money in his pocket.
Right. I want to drive this point home. I want Manager Marty to remember this. Don't forget this, because this is very important. Manager Marty, we got the one guy, Terrence Best Videos. One of his main points of Terence Crawford not signing the fight was the date. They didn't have a date. When was they gonna fight? That's Terrence Best Videos' main point of Terence Crawford not fighting. Okay, we have to remember that Terence Crawford delegated the responsibility to Bernie the boxer to tell everybody. This was in September, before the David Avedisian was This was Terence Crawford getting in front of everybody to try to make it look like Errol Spence was the duck. He delegated the responsibility to Bernie the Boxer to tell the world that he signed, not agreed, that he signed for the ring size, he signed for the gloves, he signed for the location, and he signed for the date. What did he say? They wanted the man to climb Mount Everest. The man climbed Mount Everest. They wanted the man to sign for the gloves. He signed for the gloves. They wanted him to sign for the ring size. He signed for the ring. They wanted him to sign for the date. He signed for the date. This is what Terence Crawford had his buddy, the dude that lived in his basement or whatever, one of his partners, the guy that's on his team that's in the ring with him at some fights. This dude came out and said that Terence Crawford signed for the date. So this further proves that Terence Crawford is a liar, because Bernie the Boxer didn't just come out on his own and say that. He said exactly what Terence Crawford told him to say. And the reason I know that, because Terence Crawford ain't put him in the background. Terence Crawford ain't say, hey, man, you spitting false narratives. Terence Crawford ain't come out and say, nah, I didn't say that. I didn't tell him to say that. He didn't do that. He's lying by omission. He did not omit that I didn't tell him to say that. He let that man come out his mouth and say that, and he rolled with it. So if I'm taking Bernie the Boxer word for it. Bernie the Boxer said Terence Crawford signed for the date. So Terence best videos, you can stop that if there was no date stuff. Stop that. The man said he signed, not agreed. He said he signed for the date. So let's just get over this. My brother Blacks again, my brother Manager Marty. I'm gonna get out of here, man. And I love the show, Manager Marty. I love your growth, man. You really doing your thing, and I see how you done learned your whole. You learned the game, man. So you about to really kill it because you learned the game.
He in the business, man. What you
He
talking
on
about?
it. But Manager Marty, please, for me, because you got the platform, do not let people forget that Bernie the Boxer said that Terence Crawford told him to tell the people that he signed for the date. He signed for the ring. He signed for the gloves. He climbed Mount Everest. He did everything he could do to make this fight. Let's not forget that.
All right, you got it. I appreciate your time. Master Khalid, thank you so much for coming through, for giving me the encouragement, giving me my flowers, brother. You're more than welcome anytime you want to come on. Thank you for your viewership, man. And I look forward to seeing and hear from you soon, brother.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
Blaxican, Bruce.
Yeah,
I want to play something because I played it on Tuesday night. I don't think you were you here on Tuesday night on the podcast?
I believe I was. No, I wasn't on, but I watched you guys Tuesday. Yeah, that's why I'm what Ricky Williams was talking about to your
right.
dude, man. Yeah, and he was painting the picture. He was throwing Ricky, man, is like me, man. He was throwing that color in there so they can see the picture pretty well. So it's not just in black and white, man. And I'm like, yeah, it's I think he said he knew somebody behind the scene working with Spectrum's director or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
He said he knew somebody back there.
When you have that kind of inside information, you can speak with confidence, like he did. That okay, there are things, and then he said, you read the actions. I don't care how much you yap. When you read the actions, that's when you can tell something ain't right. And then we just had I just read a few more articles outside of what you was spilling earlier about it's probably just a rumor going around that they say the 17th because of Spectrum had the month of June blocked off, but they just chose the 17th because it was a Saturday. I don't know, but I heard what you were saying earlier, man. And just like, all right, talk is cheap, action speaks. That's all. That's all both fans need to consider. Errol, boxing, and Bud Crawford fans need to consider. Talk is cheap, action speaks. Show us at least something.
Yeah, very well stated. And the reason why I actually were you here Tuesday, because you made a reference to Sugar Ray Leonard. And on Tuesday's podcast, I literally played a replay of a documentary that was talking about what happened between Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Oh, I know.
And I want to play it because this is the same tactic that Sugar Ray Leonard used. He got everybody gathered in like this stadium because he had a special announcement. Brought Marvin
Howard
Hagler.
Cosell, Muhammad Ali, Marvin Hagler himself.
Everybody was there. That's right.
Yep.
Howie Cosell was there. Everybody was there. He invited everybody. Brought Hagler in the ring, raised Hagler's hand, had the fans cheering, waiting for the big announcement that he had. And then he let Hagler go sit down in his seat because he wanted to have the ring by himself to tell a big, big announcement because the fans were anticipating. The boxing community was anticipating. Promoters all across the world was anticipating him saying that he finally was going to give Marvelous Marvin Hagler the opportunity to fight him. Let me go and replay that because this is Roll the Tape Podcast, and I'm going to let you hear what Ray Leonard said, how he did the same thing that we see Crawford is doing. This is what Leonard said right here.
To Marvin Hagler, a fight with this great man, this great champion, could be one of the greatest fights in the history of boxing.
And when we got to the end of the primrose path, he cut off our head.
But unfortunately, it'll never happen. Thank you, and God bless you all.
That's Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, man.
And he basically wanted to announce that he was retiring and he's not going to fight Marvelous Marvin. Everybody was under the impression that he actually was going to fight Marvin, and then he spent it around. And he eventually, years later, he did fight him. But at that time where the fight was more lucrative, he didn't want to fight him. And
you know what? Can I say it real quick, man?
Yeah.
Ray, everybody blames Floyd, but Ray was the one who started it. Where it's low risk, high reward. He's the one who started that with Hagler, because like I said earlier, he just waited until Hagler was no longer the same hungry animal, same hungry lion that he once that knocked out Tommy Hearns. And then once he saw deterioration in his fight game and got him drunk, and Marvin and Marvelous admitted, I'm losing the passion for the sport. I cut too easy. I'm thinking about retiring. Once Leonard heard all that, and then he knew, because one thing people don't know about Leonard is he didn't stay as in shape as Floyd Mayweather does, but he did do a little working out, here and there to, see what I guess stay healthy, but I mean, he wasn't in the gym like Mayweather is, but he was in the gym maybe once a week at the most. So he stayed physically fit, and everybody keeps saying he was off for 4 years or 5 years?
Yeah, he was off for a couple of years.
Yes, and he really wasn't, because he fought Terence Howard, I believe his name was, and got knocked down. He had really been off for like 2 years, and then people also forget after John the Beast McGarvey beat the hell out of Hagler, Hagler was off for a year also, but he was more badly bruised, and his body had more damage done to it.
That's why Hagler wanted to fight him, because Hagler was on the headset. He was commentating. And that's when he said, "Oh, I want to fight him now. I see him deteriorating. I want to fight him now." Yep.
Yeah, and see that's what I think. That's honestly what I believe Terence Crawford is waiting for, looking for, or maybe he's waiting for Errol to just drop the belts and move up, because he is hearing him say, this mess ain't easy, man. Keep getting his weight off ain't easy. He hears that. I don't think he's ignoring it, but it's like, all right. But the thing is, go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
No, brother. Speak on it.
Okay, well, I mean, so what I was going to finish saying was, all you Terence Crawford fans out here saying that, Terence is the one who wants to fight, or Errol's the one dunking. Or nah. Errol told Keith Thurman, I'm not sure how he negotiated with the WBA or WBC. I'm not sure how he negotiated with them, but that's what Al Heyman is there for, advising. So it's not that he wants to fight Keith. It's the fact that Keith is a mandatory, and Keith did not give Errol a chance to unify when Keith had 2 belts. So now that Errol has 3 belts, he ain't giving Errol no fair chance to unify nothing. And so that's why he's trying to fight his tail at 154. Again, I don't know how they negotiated or what, but that's why he's fighting him at 154, because even if Keith were to win, say an accidental headbutt and he's ahead on on the scorecards or some mess like that, he wouldn't get no title belt. Just like he didn't give Errol Spence no shot, no title when they both, when Keith had 2 and Errol had 1. So that's why he's fighting at 154, and because he's mandatory. So I mean, that right there, man, is just a bunch of it may be boxing politics or whatever, but Terence Duck Coward, he's not gonna get any more respect from true boxing fans than Aaron Pryor or Riddick Bowe or what's the other big fight that didn't happen, or maybe like a almost like a George Foreman, Larry Holmes, even though they were older and they both had losses. It's like fights that could happen that just they were avoided. He keeps saying that for a reason, because that's the way he wants to be considered, is a good fighter who just didn't have this fight. But that's not, I mean, yeah, he's hurting his legacy more than anything by pulling this mess here off. This is going to be the one.
Yeah, I agree.
Barbershop conversations.
Yeah, I agree with that. And something that you said
What?
that he's being until Spence kind of slows down, or he's waiting like how we talked about Leonard waited. But here's the thing though. I think he already saw it. The fight that I met Terence Crawford is when Spence fought Danny Garcia, right?
Okay.
That was right after the car accident. Spence's first fight after his car accident, right?
Yep.
After he fought Porter. Terence Crawford was there. He saw everything he needed to see. And what I saw and what I think is he saw that, okay, Errol Spence kind of looked like he missed a step or two, his first fight back after the car accident. But he also saw that not even a car accident that ejected this guy out of a car going 100 miles per hour can stop this guy. And then he comes right back after fighting Danny Garcia. See, Crawford ain't been in another fight since Danny Garcia. Mm-hmm. He wasn't sitting in the crowd in no other fight after that Garcia fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so my point is, I do think he saw what he needed to see, but he wasn't impressed. In other words, this guy is not in worse condition than I expect him to be, because I want to see for myself with my own eyes how he's going to look against Danny Garcia. And he saw that. And not only that, he had a torn retina. That didn't stop this guy. So what can I actually do to hurt this man? If a car accident that ejects him out of a car, driving over 100 miles per hour, don't stop this man. He comes back, tears his retina somehow. He gets surgery. He comes back and do that to Ugas. Man, ain't nothing going. Can't nothing stop this man special. There's nothing I can do as a fighter to hurt or stop this man. He's too resilient. He overcomes obstacles, and he's strong-minded. I'm cool. I'm gonna keep playing the game like I really want rumbling. I'm cool. Because think about it. Sugar Ray Leonard tore his retina too, and he did retire and he did come back. But yeah, he had a torn retina. But guess what? Spence had a torn retina. He came right back. He didn't take years off like Sugar Ray. Yeah. Spence came right back. And looked good and looked real good. It's hard to beat a guy like that. I don't think Crawford wants it.
And yeah, I mean, I can't do anything but totally agree with you, man, Jamar, because that right there, man, is dude. It's look how fast. Once again, I think I said this on D-Town Boxing the other day. Look how fast Ryan Garcia signed with Tank. Now he's been calling him out for a while, and Oscar De La Hoya tried holding him back to get this fight here in, do this, do that, whatever the case is. But look how Ryan Garcia wants to fight. How bad Ryan Garcia wants to fight Tank Davis, because he knows if he beats Tank Davis, which I doubt, but let's say if Ryan Garcia does beat him, he won't be the head of boxing like a Alvarez Spence, but he'll be up there in the pound for pound. He'll have a chance to get up there and get bigger, better fights. I'm not sure they have a rematch clause or not. I don't know. I haven't heard the contract with them, but just like Ryan Garcia, went on ahead, and I mean Ryan Garcia, he ain't never been no champion. He ain't, no pound for pound on a bunch of people's list. He hasn't accomplished what Terence has, no. But I'm talking about how he just went ahead and agreed to terms and conditions, and look how it made the fight happen as fast as I don't know what. It took him about 2-3 months, maybe less after Tank's last fight.
Yeah. Yep.
See, and it's
They
like,
got it
okay,
done.
yeah, and all this again, butt kissing, bad business, Terence Crawford fans, man. It's not hate, man. It's being a boxing fan is it's like time is not on his side either. He hasn't been hit that Terence Crawford. Time is not on his side. He hasn't been beaten that bad. He hasn't been like brutally in a brutal fight yet. But what made me what made me choose Errol over Terence is not the punching power. It's not the ring IQ. It was the fact that I saw how big of a fight Sean Porter gave him. Sean Porter is the closest one who's come to beating Errol is anybody, because I do believe had it not been for that knockdown, Sean might have, gotten the decision. But that's not Terence Crawford's fighting style. He comes after you, yeah, but the only time he comes after you is when he knows he has you hurt.
Yes,
everybody wants
that's
to look
true.
at, yeah, and everybody wants to focus on that one time that Errol Spence got careless and dropped his mouthpiece, and Ugas, hit him with the right hand. That's all they see. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what about what he did to what's that dude's name, man? What about what he did to Peterson? What about what he did to Chris? What about what he did to everyone else he fought? To Danny, to what happened to all those fights there, though? All they look at is when Ugas hit him because he wasn't protecting himself at all times. That's all they look at. And so I'm like, man, look, if that's all y'all know about boxing, if that was, that's like, nah, there's okay. If you bring that up, bring up what Mean Machine did the Terrence then, because that was a lot cleaner.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it was a left cross he hit him with, and that he wasn't on his foot or nothing. It was the referee just didn't call it a knockdown. Just like when Zab Judah knocked Floyd Mayweather down with that right hook, it was a good legitimate knockdown. But hey, Richard still didn't call it a knockdown. That's all it was.
Yeah, I think it was the straight left hand, and
yeah,
that Zab hit Floyd with in his glove.
Nah,
it
was
canvas, right?
it was his lead right hand, his lead hook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it was
I thought that was the straight left hand.
I'm that okay. But yeah, it was. But either way, all it was Terrence has touched the canvas, and then we look at those videos with him sparring with is it Haney? He's sparring with Haney, or is it Stevenson? It's one of them. I can't remember, but he's sparring with one of those guys, and it's like, hey man, they're doing some good work to him. So I'm not sure if it's because Terrence doesn't feel, like I said, 1,000% confident in himself the way his fans do. But again, he's January, February, March. Here he is, April. No contract signed or anything.
Yep, you're right about it.
Like,
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to give your closing remarks, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I give these last two super chats their flowers while they're still here. Diana, thank you. She's always supporting the channel, has been a day one, always, and she's a member of this channel, and I have to give her flowers. Thank you for your contribution and support, Diana. Diana says, blessings, Manager Marty, family, and chat. Everyone have a blessed rest of the night. Excellence as always. Thank you so very much, Diana. And then Coach Amber, who's been very consistent with coming on to the platform. Thank you, Coach Amber, for your contribution and your support and viewership, Coach Amber. Coach Amber says, EJ didn't do physical therapy post-crash. Wow, I didn't know that. My goodness. He's just, whether he did do physical therapy or not post-crash, that crash was very, very traumatizing. It could have been a fatality instead of a tragedy. And so, man, if he didn't do physical therapy after that, my goodness. I mean, God is definitely with him. There ain't no question about that, because I've seen people die for less injuries than that. So,
I mean, look what happened to Paul Williams, man.
Paul Williams.
Even though his was a bike accident, though.
Yep, his was a bike accident. Diego Corrales, God bless his soul. Diego Corrales died from a motorcycle accident. So some people just don't recover. I mean, that's life or death when you get involved in, something like that. 30 seconds. Give me your last words before we close out. I appreciate your viewership, your support. Thank you for coming on the panel. Thank you for giving us your perspective and your experience as a former amateur boxer and just representing the state of Nebraska, brother.
Hey, man. Yeah, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. Sometimes I don't know how else to say it, but to keep it real, man. But in closing, it's this, man. It's basically, as boxing fans, I mean, all we can do, man, is go on their Twitter page and express how you feel, and hopefully they'll buy into it, or hopefully it's just this situation this fight can happen by the end of the year, if not by June 17th or whenever. Hopefully it can happen by the end of the year, because this is what makes boxing is when prime fighters, true champions, meet each other and give it their all. It's for the reward that they feel is worth it. And I mean, regardless if they don't feel it's worth it, then I mean, ain't but so much we can do as fans. But I already know what I'm going to do, though. I'm not going to encourage it to anybody, because it's just how I feel. But and this fight going, this to me is this fight right here in the welterweight division is a prime Tommy Hearns versus a Pernell Whitaker with power. That's what this fight here is to me. And it's like a fancy matchup that who wouldn't want to see it. And it's like, can't wait till it happens, to be honest with you. Really can't.
Yep. Got it. Same here. Salute, Blaxican Bruce. Thank you for your time, brother. Look forward to seeing you again. And you take care and have a good evening, Blaxican Bruce.
Same to you. We'll see you next time.
You got it. Thank you, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape film crew, before I close out, I want to thank everybody for coming to view this live. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for the engagement in the chat. Thank you for your contributions, those of you that contributed to the channel. Thank you for your unwavering support. And let me do this again. Thank you all, because if it wasn't for you all, I would not have received a total of 400,000 views out of 137 videos in the 6 months that I have been a content creator on YouTube. So thank you all again. Small little recap. Hopefully this fight do take place in the summertime, if not June 17th, between Crawford and Spence. I'll leave you with some of the things that Stephen Espinoza said in the FightHype.com interview. Once again, there are issues to overcome. Negotiations are ongoing. 99% of the rumors are wrong. There is no date set. We have to finish the deal first and then set the date. People are working hard to get it done, and we're all still talking. Those are the things that Stephen Espinoza said. We replayed it several times on the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape film crew, we will be back here live and in living color on Tuesday night for another episode of Road to Tape podcast with Manager Marty. Thank you for your viewership and your time, and you all have a great weekend. Don't forget, we have some great boxing coming up tomorrow evening on 2 different networks. So make sure y'all tune into that if you can, because when we come back on Tuesday, we're going to give a recap on all of the fights that we saw on Saturday night on Showtime with Fondora, and then on ESPN with Shakur Stevenson. I'm Manager Marty. Till next time.